Today, we're eating all the New York food icons. Pizza, bagels, bacon, egg, and cheese, hot dogs, and more. We'll find out just why these foods are so famous in the greatest city on earth. The bagel, the breakfast icon of New York City, brought here by Polish Jewish immigrants at the turn of the 20th century. Is there a more New York City breakfast than this? Debatable. Well, you can tell they mean business when 12:30 on a Monday, there's already a super long line. An absolute, I've heard from so many, is the best bagel in New York City. And this is the only spot in the video I've never been to. So let's find out. Oh, those look so good. It's passing the visual test. How are you? Could I get an everything bagel with scallion cream cheese, please? No, thank you. All right, let's investigate. This is the story of my life. Line dies the second we head out. Everyone in New York generally thinks where they're from has the best bagels. Their neighborhood spot is the best, and I've heard about Absolute for years. Finally, gonna be trying this legendary bagel here, Morningside Heights. You know, didn't see a single tourist in line. It was like all Columbia students. All right, let's try this. This looks amazing. Chewy on the outside, soft on the inside. This is how a New York bagel has to be. Wow. All these years living in the city, a dozen years, I never tried Absolute. People pushed me all the time to try it, but I'm glad I finally came. That first impression, instantly this is going towards the top of my list for New York City bagels. We're eating so much food today that I did not want to get lox, any of their salmon choices, the appetizing stuff. I want to try that at some point, but I have to tell you, I'm struggling right now to think of a better bagel I've ever had in New York. Bold statement coming. I think this is the best bagel I've ever had in New York City. I would put this in a textbook for a New York City bagel. And a very important note for you all, cash only. I saw people running out telling their friends, oh, go to the ATM machine. There was a little bit of confusion with that, but they don't take pre-orders. They don't do delivery. They do one thing, they do it well, bagels, cash only. And I mean, they have that right. They've earned it, in my opinion. Absolute Bagels, absolutely recommended. What a start to this iconic New York City food tour. Is there anything more iconic in cinema than somebody grabbing a street hot dog in the city? Well, we've got Billy's here, and the story with him is we included him in our best reviewed hot dog video last year, and his hot dog stand really blew up in international popularity. YouTube channels covered him. A lot of my viewers from all over the world said he was fantastic. Let's go pay him a visit and see if he remembers us. Love it. Always a line. Billy is a local legend.
I've been coming to him since I was mid-30s.
Oh, wow.
I'm 67 years old.
30 years, huh? Best in the city.
Well, he's always here, reliable.
Yeah. People have been coming to this guy for decades. Remember me? Best reviewed hot dogs in New York City?
You started again, you see?
We're doing different spots. Hot dogs, pastrami, like the best of each category, and your hot dog. You deserve it, man. You deserve it.
Billy's been here over 30 years.
Oh, yeah. But you do a great job, man. So I just want to thank you.
You do good too.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah, you good too.
You got a hard job, man. You got the whole neighborhood here, you know.
Your wife was pregnant, no?
Yeah.
Okay, you got the baby?
Yes, sir. Here he is, 6 months.
Yeah.
He's a big boy. You're right, she was pregnant. He tried your hot dog while still in the womb. Anything you want to say to the people?
Nah, listen, say thanks to everybody,
That's all. Thank you so much, Billy.
all right. Okay, guys.
I'll see you soon. This is the best, man. Heading to Central Park, 2 Billy's hot dogs. Doesn't get much better than this. Billy does his hot dogs good, I'm telling you. This is not your average dirty water dog in New York City. He puts a lot of love into this. We have his onion sauce and some mustard. Real simple, $2 each. Nice snap. Love the onion sauce. It's just a little bit of kick. Now, of course, you come here for the hot dog. You come here for a good hot dog, but what you're really coming for is somebody who's been in the neighborhood for well over 30 years, for decades. And when you go there, even if you're not from New York City, you're gonna feel like you're from New York City. He talks to everybody. He'll ask where you're from. He'll ask how your day is going. You wanna feel like a local for just a little bit, even if you're not, come to Billy's Hot Dogs and then head to Central Park. Why not combine the two? Do Central Park right after. The location's absolutely perfect, and the hot dogs, really good as well.
If you love New York food and want a really cool gift, consider shopping at the online store my wife and I run over on Etsy. She's got stickers, prints, and a whole lot more at really affordable prices, ships worldwide. See the link in the description.
The Jewish Deli, a New York institution. My viewers constantly ask me, where do you get a good pastrami sandwich? I always point them as Sarge's over Katz's for a more local experience. I love this spot. Want to do the number 3 corned beef and pastrami? Always get that, like every time. And a Doc Brown celery. Many people say just get a pastrami. I like to mix up the two when I come to Sarge's. So we have rye bread on top of coleslaw Russian dressing. Then we have some of the fatter pastrami on top of the leaner corned beef. So this is the ultimate Jewish deli sandwich in New York City right here. You're probably gonna need a fork and knife. I'm gonna attempt to get at least a few bites where this thing topples over. It's so rich, so tender in flavor. If you just want double meat experience, combined with that rye bread and the Russian dressing, one of my favorite sandwiches in all of New York City, and honestly, something that I would say New York does better than any place else in the world, the deli sandwich. You can argue pizza, you can argue bagels, you can argue hot dogs. Anthony Bourdain said it many times. This is what New York does better than anybody, and I think Sarge's does it better than the rest. My personal opinion, New Yorkers will fight you to the death on who their favorites are, but I'll tell you, I don't see a single tourist in here. I've had many of you out there call me out for not ordering Doc Brown's celery soda. I've actually never had celery soda. Oh, that's really good. I approve this pairing, but bring your appetite when you come here. Sarge's is interesting because for years and years they were open 24 hours, but after the pandemic, like many businesses, they do now close at 10 p.m. So you can't come here at 3 o'clock in the morning and try to fight a hangover with a big pastrami sandwich anymore. No shame using a fork and knife if you want to get your money's worth here. No shame. All right, that was the gut bomb of the video, but we've got more. Everyone in New York has their favorite pizza spot. Bleecker Street has always been mine. I lived in the Village for 10 years, and it is by far my viewers' favorite pick that I have ever recorded at. I'm constantly getting tagged here. So when I pick an iconic pizza spot for the video, it's Bleecker Street.
Thanks for your videos.
Oh, you're welcome. You saw this in my video?
Yes, yes.
How is it? Is it good?
It's really good.
It's good?
Yeah.
You approve? Okay.
Approved,
If
yeah.
you guys approve, I'm happy. Where are you from?
London, but originally Estonia.
Ah, cool. Welcome to New York. They approve the pizza, I'm happy. Wow, thank you so much. Fresh Nonna Maria. Dreams are made of this. My absolute favorite pizza in all New York City. You know, first and foremost, I love the story of Bleecker Street Pizza. It was opened by a retired police captain who served at Ground Zero during 9/11. And this was his grandma's recipe. Thin crust with fresh mozzarella, homemade marinara sauce, finest Parmesan, fresh basil, and Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. I think that's like the missing ingredient in a lot of pies right now in New York City. You're seeing Parmigiano Reggiano cheese being used, which is imported from Italy and very, very expensive. Here we go. It's been too long since I've had this actually. All of those premium ingredients together just hits different, I'm telling you. I'm not trying to compare this to your everyday New York City slice. That's its own animal, but this particular slice here, it's a specialty. It lies somewhere between the Neapolitan pizza and a regular New York slice. Holds up really well. Nice undercarriage, a lot of sauce, a lot of cheese, very saucy. You're into a saucy slice, you are gonna fall in love with the Nonna Maria. Everybody behind me is ordering a Nonna Maria. This is by far what they're most known for. I've had the other slices here before, all very good, but this This is what you travel to Bleecker Street Pizza for.
I watch your YouTube channel.
Oh, where are you from? Croatia. Was it good? Too good? That's what I like to hear. I think of all the places I've ever filmed, this is the spot where people are most likely to say hi. And it's really cool that a long time ago they put me on the wall of fame here. So I don't know if there's a bigger honor in my life than being on the wall of my favorite pizza spot. This is like a greatest hits album. You know how musicians have their greatest hits? One CD, one album? Today's video is just like my favorites. A lot of tourists I meet are obsessed with trying New York cheesecake. They run to spots like Junior's. Well, I prefer Eileen's special cheesecake. Hi.
How can I help?
2 of the classic plains. We're doing a YouTube thing about the most iconic foods of New York. So
Well, ours is the best cheesecake in the city.
that's what I tell people. That's why I'm here. They've been open almost 50 years for a reason. They were telling me in there that they actually designed these special cheesecakes to be this small for all the tour groups from around the world and tourists that come in. I mean, I'm always singing their praises as well. This is the plain, a lot of cream cheese, graham cracker crust. Makes it a little more unique. This is really the only dessert I possibly could have had after all the food we feasted on today. We will end with this cheesecake icon. So light, so creamy. I'm not the biggest cheesecake fan, but for Eileen's, I always make an exception. And I just don't think you have to make a special trip to eat cheesecake if you're eating some huge meal and then you gotta force yourself to have dessert. This is perfect because you're right on the edge of Soho here, so you're probably gonna be in the area at some point. Grab a quick dessert on the go and try New York's most famous dessert choice, cheesecake. They bake so many of these, so they're so busy, they're always getting a fresh piece. Tart-sized cheesecake, perfect for on the go, or you could eat it inside. Today, we're only eating New York's most iconic breakfast sandwich, the bacon, egg, and cheese. We'll show you some of the best spots in the city to try it and some interesting variations on the classic. And joining me for this food adventure, 2 fellow New Yorkers. We've got Ben and Ming from the Bing Buzz. All right, we're starting off the video at Eastway Gourmet, just your typical New York bodega. And Ben, we would call this the working man's breakfast, right?
Working, man. Yeah, I think so. I've done a lot of night shifts, and every time I see the sunrise, I just couldn't wait for that bacon, egg, and cheese with an overly sweet coffee.
Beautiful. Let's do it. Some argue it's a bodega if it's 2 aisles and a deli if it's 3.
Oh, morning.
Morning. Could we do 2 bacon, egg, and cheeses on a roll?
Ketchup.
Ketchup, yeah.
Breakfast for champions.
What a start to the day. We've got the classic bacon, egg, and cheese. So we've got bacon, American cheese, I think 2 scrambled eggs inside of a Kaiser roll. It doesn't get much more traditional than this in the city.
I gotta say, they give a generous amount of bacon and the eggs.
And we all added ketchup. I know that's controversial. Tell us in the comments, would you put ketchup on a bacon, egg, and cheese? I say yes, as long as it's on a roll.
I play it safe, that's why I get the ketchup on the side.
This deli's been around for a long time, so let's see how this does. You know, everything is so perfectly balanced in this. I'm telling you, like everything. The amount of bacon, cheese, egg, just right.
Maybe because you brought the camera person in, that's why they hooked you up with so much bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
Because it never had this much bacon, egg, and cheese in one sandwich.
They didn't know we were coming, but yeah, I think they might have gotten a little bit more generous.
This is honestly like 2 sandwich worth of bacon and eggs.
So we can't confirm if they usually give this much bacon, but tell them you saw them on the video. Maybe they'll be nice too.
Yeah, but I'm not complaining though. And the roll is like so nice and soft. And the fact they have so much protein just enhances the sandwich so much more. You never see a bacon, egg, and cheese where the egg and the bacon is thicker than the bread itself.
This is really good. Amazing with ketchup. And John said that he prefers bagels, but I prefer things on a roll. Rolls are easier to eat, it's smaller, so you get more of the meat inside.
This actually may be one of the best bacon, egg, and cheese I've randomly got from a bodega like in a really long time.
I'm telling you, they hooked it up.
Now you're saying this thing is stacked, but it's not on the Aki Wei level where he's got the honey bun and like 50 other things which we've shown in another video before.
I would eat the Aki Wei bacon, egg, and cheese though.
Aki Wei is still #1 for me, but that's indulgent. That's a little crazy. You want to come to New York, get an everyday breakfast? This is it.
It makes you feel badass after eating it, trust me.
I mean, I got to admit, this is also the perfect food, as you said, for somebody in the morning who's working. You just take this and walk and eat it.
I remember those night shifts where I wake up at 4 a.m. As soon as the sunlight peeks in, I'm like, a nice bacon, egg, and cheese, a small coffee, and some sunlight for some extra serotonin. it'll wake me up.
This is easier to walk and eat with than, let's say, a slice of pizza. I did a little research and the bacon, egg, and cheese originated in the 1800s, and then towards the Industrial Revolution became more popular in the United States. Then 1950s fast food culture became huge in the US. So if you want to do something super American for breakfast, like this is it.
And it's super New York.
Ben, would you say skip the hotel breakfast and order this from a bodega?
100%. Why would you get the continental breakfast? You're in New York.
It's true. Breakfast is one thing in this city that you actually can find pretty cheap.
We've got Tompkins Square Bagels, one of the city's best, and one of their 3 locations. Ming, are you in the mood for a unique bacon, egg, and cheese here?
Always, I'm so ready.
All right, let's check this out. It's a Sunday morning, a popular New York bagel spot. Very crowded. It's a conveyor belt of bacon, egg, and cheese right here. I love it.
That's an impressive production line.
Want to get 2 bacon, egg, and cheeses, one on a sesame bagel and one on a French toast bagel?
You want your bagels toasted?
No, that's it.
Can I have your name to order?
John. Thank you. All right, Ming, I don't know if you can handle this.
Oh, wow, it's like 50 pounds.
Insider tip, head over to Union Square after Tompkins Square Bagels. Nice spot to enjoy it. 2 bacon, egg, and cheeses on a sesame bagel and a French toast bagel. Sesame is my classic choice. You ever had a French toast bagel before?
First time trying French toast bagel. I usually get the everything bagel with lox, so this is different.
Very different, but every bagel shop in the city, you can get a bacon, egg, and cheese. This is my preferred method of eating this. Let's try it out.
Cheers.
Cheers. Even though this has less bacon than the last spot, I think they gave my bacon to Ming. This is fantastic. I love their bagels so much. Definitely one of my top 5 in the city. Nice and fluffy, don't think you need it toasted. And then the generous portion of egg and cheese on top of the salty bacon. I mean, this is a great breakfast sandwich as far as I'm concerned.
Mine is sweet and salty and soft and warm. It's really good.
Do you like that mix of the sweet and the salty at the same time? How does that work for you?
I'm a sweet girl, but also I love salty. So this is great. I get everything.
And something interesting about Tompkins Square Bagels is they're really well known throughout the city for their wild flavors. We've had birthday cake bagels before there. They've got rainbow bagels. If you can think of it with the cream cheeses, they have a lot of funky stuff. So if you find something like this boring, you've got to check out Tompkins Square. But for a bacon, egg, and cheese, this is tough to go wrong. This is more filling, I'll say.
Oh, for sure.
This is gonna fill you up for the whole morning if you do it with a bagel. You wanna try bagel in New York, and you wanna have like a full breakfast, bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel, 2 birds with 1 stone.
That's true. New York, New York. New York times New York.
The bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll, that was breakfast, but this one is brunch.
You're right, you got French toast. You got all your main brunch ingredients in one.
It's really hearty. It's always reassuring when you get the bagel from the right places too.
It's so true. What do you think of the French toast flavor, by the way? You ever had something like that before?
Honestly, I prefer the regular bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll.
Yeah, the bagel is fuller, it's heavier flavor. It does overpower a little bit the bacon, egg, and cheese, I will say, but for someone like me who's a bagel lover, this is the way I prefer to do it. But, you know, to each their own.
You do have to work for it.
Yeah, you gotta work for it a little bit.
It's a lot of biting.
Guys, by the way, if you enjoy watching Ben and Ming as much as I enjoy having them on the channel, check out their YouTube. They do food adventures just like this all the time in New York. Subscribe down below. Yeah, I want to get 2 of the Chinatown egg and cheese sandwiches, both with bacon. We've got Golden Diner, which is a social media sensation. We couldn't even get a reservation at this spot, so we're taking this super unique bacon, egg, and cheese to go. What are you thinking about this?
You know, we're fans of Chinese food, we're fans of bacon, egg, and cheese, but I honestly don't know what's expected in this one.
Let's show you the inside of this place. It's really interesting. What vibes you get?
It's very lively diner, but also a little Asian fusion vibe.
That looks like a burger.
We got the Chinatown egg and cheese sandwich with bacon, $17. Soft scrambled eggs, American cheese, a hash brown patty served on a sesame scallion milk bun. Oh, that's a lot of egg.
It's a big boy right here.
This is definitely the biggest bacon, egg, and cheese of the day, and probably the prettiest one as well.
Yeah, that's a lot of fluffy eggs.
I've got to give them credit on the eggs. Like, a lot of attention went into this.
It's also $17, John. It costs 5 times as much as a regular bacon, egg, and cheese.
What does the Aki Way bacon, egg, and cheese cost? About 17 bucks
man.
now as well. This is
Maybe.
tied for the most expensive bacon, egg, and cheese in the city, I think. But will it live up to the hype? I mean, they told me 2-hour waits on weekends for brunch. I don't know if I'd wait 2 hours. Make a reservation if you want to come here. All right, let's take a bite and we'll discuss what we got going on here. Ready?
Let's go.
Let's do it. This is just bringing like different textures and flavors to the mix that you don't think about with a bodega. Bacon, egg, and cheese, like how soft the milk bun is, the hash brown on top, which, you know, this is different. There was no hash brown on anything else. Even the eggs being super fluffy. This is incredible.
I know it's a bad comparison, but I do like putting hash brown in my McDonald's McGriddle. So this kind of makes me think of it a little bit.
This is sound crazy. Do you think this is too decadent for bacon, egg, and cheese?
Yes and no. I wouldn't mind it at all, actually.
If I'm waiting 2 hours inside at this diner, I think I would order this.
And the scallion taste is actually pretty pungent, pretty strong, in a good way.
Yeah, no, it's all super balanced.
Yeah.
And apparently they pick up these milk buns fresh every single day from a Chinatown bakery.
Yeah. Usually sweetness wouldn't be a part of your bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, but the bun itself has a hint of sweetness to it, which is really good.
Actually, probably less sweet than the French toast bagel too.
Actually, that's true. Usually a roll is just carbs you add to your bacon, egg, and cheese, but this one is something you should really enjoy.
What do you think about the idea behind this? Like a fusion Chinese, Asian diner? Like diners are dying out in the city.
I think this is probably a right way to do it.
This is a way to get young people interested in diners again.
Exactly. Hip new restaurants and pop-up shops. Courtside fire escape, scallion pancake wrap burrito. It's like all very unique, innovative ideas around food. So I think this is the way to go.
It's more popular for brunch to order avocado toast. I think this is a unique way to bring bacon, egg, and cheese back into the picture at a diner.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too proud of myself eating an avocado toast in the public, but this one, you can be eating it proudly.
Nobody wants to watch that video. We're not making that video. That's too healthy for this channel. I just feel like they've elevated most of the basic ingredients.
Drop $1 worth of egg.
I just dropped $1 worth of egg right there. We're talking about trends. I think this is a trend in New York, just elevating basic food items and turning them into something like this.
I eat this every day if I win the lottery.
Wow,
Dropped another $2.
Oh my God.
Look.
this is delicious. I love the hash browns. It's delicious. Eggs are so fluffy. This is really good.
Would you pay 17 bucks for it though? Is it that good?
I would pay for it, but I'd never wait 2 hours for it.
I would pay for this if I had a reservation and we were eating indoors. I just think this is too nice to walk and eat on the street because every little egg you drop is $1 right there. So yes, I would definitely pay for this inside. This is by far the tastiest bacon, egg, and cheese of the day, but it's also no contest because of the ingredients.
Yeah, the hash brown really elevates it so much. Love it. Crunchy, and then the eggs are soft, and you don't need ketchup for this.
No, you definitely do not need
No.
ketchup. What do you think about that with New York, that you could find like every type of bacon, egg, and cheese imaginable? We went from bodega to bagel spot to expensive diner action.
Oh, we're blessed.
New York's the best. I love New York.
You know what could make this one better? Be right back.
What?
This, Sean.
Yo, that's what I said.
This was the missing link here. Not a coffee in Arizona. Amazing.
I'm gonna enjoy this with the rest of the sandwich.
Yeah, it might just be the ultimate New York City brunch. $17 bacon, egg, and cheese, 99-cent Arizona.
Averages out.
Today we'll be chowing down at 3 New York eateries that are absolute institutions in the city and have been around for a combined 242 years. Visit these while you still can, trust me. I've got Greg, my New York food insider. There's diners, and then there's B&H.
Yeah, this is an old school gem. Just really like, you can only really find this spot in New York. Old school lunch counter. I'm a sucker for old school places like this growing up in New York, and there's not many of these left. The old school vibe here. This is like bringing me back.
Only in New York. This narrow, only in New York.
Stools, counter.
Love it.
I think B&H is like the last place of the kosher vegetarian in the East Village, and I think in Manhattan. So with homemade cooking, Eastern Europe food, we prepare the food every day, so it tastes delicious.
Cold outside, warm in here, some hearty soup.
No better on a cold, gray, dreary day than some hot soup.
You eat the soup? Okay, I check.
You know, I'll be honest, growing up, I didn't always love matzo ball soup. Had I have grown up eating matzo ball soup this good, I think I actually would have liked it more. In front of me right now is like a who's who of Jewish food for people that aren't Jewish and maybe don't live in the New York area. We've got challah French toast, we've got matzo ball soup, we've got a latke, we've got stuffed cabbage, fried pierogi, Greg's got the borscht. If you never grew up with Jewish friends, just come here, order all this food, you can catch up.
Yeah, it feels like we're at home here, but this is like, just a whole different vibe. I love it.
Oh, stuffed cabbage is phenomenal. Tastes homemade. Fried pierogi. I'll put their pierogies up there with some of the best of Greenpoint. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I like these. There's something about the food here in general, I'll say, is that nothing here is too sweet, too salty, too overpowering. It's just like very home cooking taste, very fresh. Just I love it. Just you could taste the love and care they put into the food here.
I think love and care is the right word. We saw their calendar with their customers here. This is a restaurant where if you've been here once, they'll probably remember you.
This is the rabbi daughter.
Nice.
I don't know this person.
The aroma of this challah French toast is killing me right now. I smell that cinnamon, pour some syrup on top. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Their challah, they make it in-house here. They're very famous for it. They're slinging challah around all over the place. It might hit you in the head. Got a nice eggy flavor, a bit of cinnamon. Not too sweet, so it's actually good to add a little bit of syrup for some sweetness. I love it, very fresh made.
Something about the challah bread that when you convert it to French toast form, so soft, just amazing. Now you might be wondering, why do they call this B&H Dairy? Places like this popped up in the early 20th century in this part of New York because they were cheap and filling for Jewish immigrants looking to eat out according to kosher law. So by keeping milk and meat strictly separated with fish, eggs, and vegetables as neutral go-betweens. So every single thing here is vegetarian. This is the kind of place that I'm honestly shocked does not always have a line out the door.
I think you're not gonna find a place like this anywhere else. The food is delicious and just the vibe. You come for the food, you stay for the vibe.
Oh, you definitely stay for the vibe. You become part of the place eating here. It's chaotic in the best possible way. Greg, I have to say the Yonah Schimmel sign is one of my favorites in New York City.
Couldn't agree more. I love old school signs like this. You can see the wear and tear of the paint, but it still just looks beautiful.
And it doesn't get much older than Yonah Schimmel since 1910. Oh, this place hasn't changed at all. Every time I come here, like stepping into something comfortable.
Yonah Schimmel Knish is the first knishery that came to United States. It's a granddaddy of all knishes. So if you haven't had Yonah Schimmel Knish, you really never had a knish. And what I say, it's one world, one taste, one knish.
I'll do one potato, old school. Greg, what are you thinking?
Oh man, one spinach.
Okay. And we've got 14 different flavors. We're feeling adventurous. And we got mustard too?
Perfect, thank you so much.
Sure.
Now, if you've never had a knish before, a knish consists primarily of potato, onion, and seasoning filling wrapped with a thin layer of dough that is baked, never fried, popularized in North America by Jewish immigrants. The great thing about a place like Yonah Schimmel is you're coming to the inventor of the knish, one of the oldest remaining eateries in all of New York City. That's tough to find anywhere.
Oh yeah, I mean, these are the places you really have to cherish and treasure when you come and visit, and as a local and a native like myself.
Here we go. Oh, words cannot describe how satisfying and comforting a bite of a fresh knish from Yonah Schimmel is.
Oh man, so good. I love that it's very light on the outside and so soft, mushy inside. I got mine with spinach. I like it. There's a little bit of a earthiness to it and a little extra vegetable. Why not?
I'm actually a fan of the classic potato one. They have so many different flavors that you can go with. I do want to grab some mustard though. That's kind of a must here. Don't forget the spicy brown mustard. Now a little mustard added. So pillowy. And this is the same kind of mustard that you would put on a hot dog. Now, for many years, we're talking about 100 years, you would get your knish with a hot dog. But in 1996, Rudy Giuliani made it very difficult for hot dog vendors to sell knishes. So now, you pretty much have to go to spots like this. And Yonah Schimmel's the last one left in Manhattan. Queens has at least one, right?
Yeah, there's Knish Nosh in Forest Hills. Good spot. I actually regretfully used to eat those mass-produced knishes as a kid. I loved them, but over time, I really grew more of appreciation for these, the classic OG, and I love it.
I love that family owned. They got their kids working there. Celebrities come in. Everyday Joes like us come in. You should definitely come in because these are absolutely delicious. Just make sure to ask for a fresh one, warm, unbelievable. Never had a bad experience here. Came here like 10 years ago for the first time on a food tour. Never forgot it.
Best knish I ever had.
By far, hands down. And $4.75 for a knish, pretty cheap. And we've covered them in so many other videos, but right on Houston Street, 2 blocks away, you've got Russ and Daughter's appetizing store and Katz's Deli. So if you want to add to this theme, just walk down the street.
I'll try it with the mustard. I can't tell if it's like a meal, a dessert, a snack. It tastes good. It almost tastes like rice, that's probably why.
If you're watching this and planning on visiting New York soon, you've got to take Greg's street food tour. If you love going to insider locations, old school spots, you want to eat like the locals do, check out his food tour, link down below in the description. You won't regret it. Greg, there are certain celebrities that we'll call New York celebrities, and Ray is definitely one of them.
Absolutely. He's one of the ultimate New York characters and a real sweetheart.
It's actually the first time I've ever been to Ray's before, and it totally lives up to the hype. This is like a kid's dream come true with all the ice cream, candy everywhere. Wow.
This spot is old school New York to the core.
I want you guys to come to my store. I need more business. I am here from 9 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the morning. So please come here to my store, otherwise I'm gonna quit.
Could we do 3 egg creams? And then could we do 1 order of the fried Oreo? All right, for Greg, for anyone who's not from the New York area, tell them what's in an egg cream.
Okay, there's no egg, no cream. It's milk, typically chocolate syrup, but we have chocolate and vanilla and seltzer. So to me, it reminds me a lot of like a sparkling chocolate milk, if I can really describe it to anybody.
Let's try.
Very refreshing.
You know, I used to work at this cafe in Ridgewood, New Jersey. I would make egg creams. These blow my egg creams away. This is the best egg cream I've ever had, actually, by far. This is one of those New York spots I'm thinking like, I've lived here 11 years, I've never walked in these doors, and it's open 24 hours. I used to go out around here all the time, like shame on me.
I remember it was a time we walked in here and we met Ray, and he was talking about how, you know, even though his prices are going up, he really does not want to raise his prices. He was forced to, but like very slowly. He was like, I don't want to raise my prices. He tries to keep prices as low as possible. He really is a neighborhood spot. He wants people to be able to afford everything he's got.
Actually, and he just turned 90 years old. We have the mural on camera a few blocks away. And everything in here is like stepping back in time, including that old cash register right there. Man, look at that. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
So after the egg cream, fried Oreo is the other most famous thing here, right?
Oh yeah, these are a must.
Never tried it here before, let's go. You know, this originally started as like, I believe, county fair food. It was like amusement park food.
Yeah, now this is maybe one of the most sinful bites you will ever eat in New York City right here. And somehow it doesn't feel as heavy as you might think. Though it certainly is, but.
I think a spot like Ray's is a reminder that it's okay to be a kid sometimes. It's okay to get an egg cream, milkshake, sundae, fried Oreos. You earned it.
The best in the Lower East Side. Forever.
Ray's an absolute legend. You heard the man himself. If you don't come in soon, he's gonna quit. So give this man some business. It is a true New York City experience. New York is a pizza lover's dream come true, and there's many spots that don't get the attention they deserve. Today we're spotlighting pizzerias that need to be on your radar, and we'll tell you why they're must visits. Hope you brought your appetites. Let's eat. We've got Greg, native New Yorker and food guide, and our first stop, Amore Pizza. I mean, this is as old school as they come.
Absolutely, this spot has been around for a long time in the strip mall out here in Flushing. If you're a Queens native of a certain age, you remember this spot had an arcade in the strip mall. Classic.
All right, I'm excited. Let's get in there. No Apple Pay. It's good to know.
Look how thin crust it is right there. They have all those pies ready to go. Always fresh pies. High turnover.
Yeah, good sign.
We got 3 slices to go, please.
It's as efficient as they come, I have to say.
They're really just churning out slices all day long, all night, always fresh.
I think for most people, when they envision having a slice in New York, you know, being in a strip mall parking lot probably doesn't come to mind.
Think Flushing, you think of the Chinatown. This is really the edge, more near College Point. This is institutional. Amore is very famous here in Queens. Queens locals' favorite.
I mean, let's break this down. You pointed it out inside. This is as thin a slice as they come.
I like the balance of cheese and sauce here, though it does get messy. The cheese easily will fall off. I think it's also because it's so fresh.
All right, let's do it. Every pie is fresh, every slice is fresh because they're churning them out nonstop. That's the first thing I noticed. Nice and crunchy, crispy.
It's like crispy, but somehow a little soft at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting texture. I like the sauce isn't too tangy, isn't too like zesty. It really complements the cheese quite well. And just, yeah, the crust, yeah, it's just nice and light.
You know, I've only said this about a few other spots that we've done videos of, but if you were to ask, like, what is a prototypical New York slice, I think this is up there in the conversation.
This reminds me of pizza I grew up eating in Queens. Very classic example.
I think when people think of Queens, they think of like the diversity, the street food, and Jackson Heights and Flushing, the Chinatown, but pizza's a bit of an afterthought for this borough for a lot of people, no?
Oh, absolutely. I think Queens pizza is very slept on, not just because I'm born and raised here, but I really think it's the truth. I think part of it is also because a lot of these spots are spread out. Like, this spot here is pretty far off the beaten track. It's more of a destination location.
Right by LaGuardia, like that, the planes are literally taking off. You can see one right there, United, every 2 minutes here. I have to tell you, just enjoying this slice here justifies my reasons for living in New York City. Just finding pizza like this, random strip mall. New York pizza is like one of the top 5 reasons to move here or to visit here. This is the kind of spot that I think you'd be very lucky if you grew up near here.
Yeah, I'd be here all the time if I lived closer. I do come here when I'm in the area. There's a classic old school bowling alley just down the block. I don't know how much longer it's gonna last. Whitestone Lanes. I love coming here before or after.
Just eating your pizza in the parking lot, I feel like a gourmet experience.
People who come to New York, you might not even think we have parking lots. We do. You gotta come to these parts of Queens. Queens is huge.
Feels like we're doing a pizza review video in Florida, not New York.
The pizza's gonna be way better here than Florida. Sorry, guys.
You bet. Greg, Louis is the kind of spot that you want to support because of who the owners are and what they mean to the community.
Absolutely. They do so much for the community. They were here during COVID. Elmer's Hospital just down the block was really the epicenter of COVID here in New York City. They also had a very heroic act last year. One was being robbed outside the shop and they came and intervened and got stabbed in the process. Thankfully, are okay now, survived, but incredible, heroic. We haven't even got to the food yet. That's just who they are.
All right, real New York heroes inside. Let's go.
What's up, Blue?
What's up, guys? How are you? There's very few pizzerias that are still owner-operated, especially in the city. There's not so much anymore. You might have more in Jersey and other states that really put their heart and soul into what they do. I'm here 90 hours a week. I've given my whole life. I've given my blood for this place and for my neighbors.
What do you think this spot means to the community?
Oh, we're a stable backbone, no question. I've known Greg for many, many years. I've known pretty much everybody who's ever come to my restaurant.
Which type of slice you guys most well known for?
Oh, we're very well known for our grandma slice. What you see here is a Sicilian style pie. It's fresh mozzarella, plum tomato, garlic, basil, Parmesan cheese. I've seen a lot of imitation grandmas, and they don't come close.
Clear through grandmas? Patent and move.
Oh yeah.
I have to say that the food looks fantastic, but talking to Louis, the owner, like that's a New York experience.
Yeah, I mean, this is really like, I would say, the definition of a neighborhood joint here.
Greg, do we dare say one of the best grandma slices in the city that you probably haven't heard of?
I might say the best grandma slice city you've ever heard of. I mean, this is personally my favorite. I've been coming here since they opened, 14 years. I get this all the time. I literally come in here, even if I'm ordering a steak, a salmon, a pasta, I always have to get a slice of grandma no matter what.
I break this down first. Tell us why it's different than a typical Sicilian.
So if you're not familiar with grandma slice, it's a big New York thing. A lot of times you see them much thinner. This one's actually a bit thicker. And when you hear thick, you might think of it in a bad way. It's not. The crust is very airy. It's light. There's fresh mozzarella on top. There's plum tomatoes, basil, there's garlic, there's Parmesan. So all those flavors fused together.
I gotta tell you, I've never seen a grandma slice that looked quite like this one. That's a compliment. Like I feel like a lot of care went into the presentation. It's so easy to hold. No folding required.
Nope.
If your typical New York slice isn't your thing, it's a good option. All right, let's rock.
That's fantastic. You know, I've eaten this countless times. Just like that creamy, fresh mozzarella really stands out. Those chunky tomatoes, that fresh basil, that bit of garlic and Parmesan all melding together. It's just like an explosion of flavor in every bite.
I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. I needed 2 bites to really figure out why I love this so much. All those things going on at once.
I'm a big fan of like herby flavors. You really get that here a lot. I really like fresh basil and like fresh herbs.
Yeah. I thought this was gonna be way heavier, way thicker, just looking at it, but no. Telling Greg off camera, it's like going to Luigi's in Park Slope, talking to Gio there. Same thing here with Louis. Great pizza, great owners, support their communities, and I can just tell there's consistency behind every slice here when you come.
I can vouch for that. I mean, I've eaten countless grandmas. It's always on point.
Interesting that this actually feels like a restaurant too.
It's gotten to the point where when I come here and if I just order pizza, it's awkward for me. I have to order a dish here because the food here is so good. It's really great value too.
So you don't even know what you like better here, the pizza or the dinner.
Beautiful thing about it, I just get this for an appetizer as I wait for my food. So I get best of both worlds every
That's
time.
the way to do it.
And the fact that I have a ribeye steak, like pretty incredible. That's one of the best steaks I've ever had in New York.
What's the ribeye cost here, you know?
$25.
New York's best steaks you never heard of. Video idea. If you enjoy food adventures like this and you want Greg's local insights when you come to New York, check out Greg's food tour, linked down below in the description. I have had many of you tell me it was the highlight of your trip to the city. Check it out. All right, Greg, from the old school to the new school, we've got Mano's Pizzeria, established 2021. Why is this on the video?
This is really, I think, a fusion of like old school, like heritage, and new school, elevated ingredients and technique. Really big fan of the spot.
I'm really curious. I've heard good things.
Yeah. We get 2 upside downs and 2 mano pellas.
It's like Christmas came early with these colors. I'm very, very excited for this. We're at a fine dining Italian establishment outside. You don't usually see these kind of tablecloths on the street. I kind of like it. This place is so good that DoorDash delivery drivers will eat it first inside, then bring you your pie, okay? It's a good signal. Look at this colorful display. Tell everybody what we've got.
Upside down square. So this one's got the cheese first, sauce on top, a little bit of grated Parmesan. Looks like some oregano as well. Very airy. That's really the first thing that jumps out at you is a very airy square slice. And then you got this is the Mano Pella. It's actually named for the last name of the owner. Before we even get into the ingredients, just look how puffy this cornicione is on the edge. This one is vodka sauce, pesto, and chicken cutlet. You know, I don't usually do chicken pizza, but I'll make exception for this.
People have never ordered this in the city before. L&B Spumoni Gardens, they ask you if you want a corner or a middle, right? I'm gonna do middle, actually.
Let's take the corner.
Let's give it a go. Try this. Tomato sauce, just that has a bold flavor in your face. And for someone like me that's really into a saucy pizza, this is good.
Just the first thing you notice, that shatteringly crisp crust. Unbelievable how crunchy that bottom is.
I've had L&B Spumoni Gardens before. Everyone says best upside down slice in the city. I'm gonna go with this. I like this better. What do you think?
It's amazing. I think they're both different. If I were to choose which one to eat more often, I would say this one. I like the airier, lighter dough. I think the tomato sauce is sharper as well. It's just, you know, it's more, take it to the next level. Like L&B is old school, but this is more like highly elevated ingredients, fermentation.
No disrespect to L&B, this is just a little bit more my style. Now the owner didn't want to be on camera, but he was telling us off camera that he pays a lot of attention to this dough, and you can immediately tell that from any bite. I don't know if Ridgewood, Queens is exactly thought of as like a big food neighborhood.
I think more in recent years, more places have been opening up. I think this is a destination-worthy pizzeria.
Look at all these crumbs, how crunchy this is. It's a very sturdy slice, like zero flop, considering how many ingredients we've got on it too. Let's give this a go. That pesto just balances everything out. Pesto and vodka sauce, nice combination here.
I like how thick it is on top too. You know, sometimes it should be like a little bit of a drizzle. This is a really thick pesto.
Yeah.
But I'll even tell you that the chicken cutlet is well seasoned and marinated as well. It's not just an afterthought here.
I think you could put a lot of these ingredients in a sandwich. It'll be fantastic too.
Same wavelength there.
Yeah. What can't you do with a good chicken cutlet?
I bet you he would make great bread. Like, this, how skilled he is at making this dough, I bet you he would make a great sandwich bread. The dough is so well made and fermented that you don't feel so heavy in your stomach. That's the thing about all these new school shops is that way.
This has been one of my favorite slices of the day, I gotta tell you right here. You know what it reminds me of? Similar new school vibe, Lucia's Avenue X in Brooklyn.
Old school inspiration, new school technique, and kind of elevated fermentation, dough ingredients. I agree with you there.
Check that out in our Brooklyn Pizza Guide. Did a really good video last year, including Lucia's. I think New Yorkers are getting pickier about pizza as well. You can't just open up a dollar shop and expect people to show up now.
When you have pizza like this in New York, I don't even want to waste my stomach space on dollar slices, I'll tell you.
It's funny because most of the native New Yorkers I meet, they want nothing to do with dollar pizza. I get it, trust me.
You know why? Because old school good pizza like we had like at Amore, for example, that used to be $1 for a slice back in the 90s.
You're right.
If only still was, right? But
Jersey boy here. We're sitting outside of Satriali's here in the Sopranos, all right?
kind of reminds me of that because like with the tablecloths, it's kind of like a chilly fall day, you know? Kind of brings me that vibe.
It was a little cloudy out. Dave Portnoy did not give this spot a very high review.
But he's from Boston.
I respect what the guy does, but I don't always agree in his reviews. I think this place deserves a higher score personally. Mano's is a destination. You travel for these slices, I'll tell you. I gotta tell you, from the outside, if I didn't see that pizza sign, I would not think so was a pizza shop.
Very low key.
Filomena's is one of your favorite spots in the whole city.
It really is. Yeah, I've been coming here. I think they've been open about 4 or 5 years now. They got a really nice variety of pizza here. The dough is really some next level. Excited to share with you guys.
Let's get in there.
What's up? How are you? Good. How are you doing?
I want to do one of the Jersey Shores and a classic.
Got it. Do the same.
So we put a little extra attention in detail into the dough. We ferment our dough 72 hours so that way it releases all natural enzymes in the flour so you can digest a little bit better. And we also put a little extra water into the dough so it gives it a nice light airiness to it. And now my mom has a problem with digesting dough, so I thought it would be like something that would save her from not eating bad bread or bad pizza, so something she could digest. And she can digest my bread in my pizza dough. You see me here at 2 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm here all the time just touching this stuff. I make the square dough and a round dough. You can taste the difference in the dough. It adds to the flavor of the actual pizza itself.
Dude, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right.
Man, hearing Dave talk about pizza, it's like a professor.
He really is so passionate about dough. Like when he says he's here at 2 a.m., he's here at 2 a.m.
Jersey Shore square slice. I mean, Greg, this is basically like a sausage and pepper hero in pizza form.
On a pizza form, and this really light square dough. Topped it off a little grated Parmesan fresh. One of my favorite slices here to get. You know, the square is always a must order here, and I think this is my favorite of the squares. Besides the special vegan square that they don't have today.
I've actually never seen a slice quite like this one before, so I'm excited. Let's try this.
Yeah.
Light and airy crust, as I already knew, but it's wild getting that sausage and pepper and onion in one bite on a pizza. Wow, this is different, but in a really good way.
Yeah, I like the combo of the spicy and the sweet peppers, and then the onion, you have all that crunch to go with the crunch of the crust itself.
I don't know what I'm admiring more, the pizza or the sausage and pepper flavor. It's like a tie right now. You can tell Dave knows his dough. Just after 2 bites, like I can tell.
I'd say the lightest square slice I've ever eaten is from Dave.
And don't sleep on the grated Parmesan cheese. It's like the cherry on top of this amazing slice. This smells like a mix of the Jersey Shore boardwalk and the Feast of San Gennaro. And if you can visualize that and smell that, you're gonna love this pizza. All right, Greg, slice number 6 of the day. I mean, if this wasn't my job, I would say this is probably not the healthiest idea for one day, but we're troopers.
I was just here a couple weeks ago. I ate 5 slices in one sitting, and I didn't feel gross afterwards. So that's all you need to know about Philadelphia is that you can eat as much pizza as you want here and not feel gross afterwards. That's how well fermented the dough is. That's how light it is. That's how much attention and care is put into the dough. Grated Parmesan, a little olive oil on top, and fresh basil, which I love. Bring it all together.
You know, the cheese, tomato sauce, a little tangier flavor, I have to say, compared to some of the other spots we've been to, but I'm liking it.
I think that grated Parmesan really comes in, adds that nice layer of umami to this, and a little bit of the olive oil, that fresh basil. And then the crust itself, actually with a pizza like this, I like to eat the edge kind of early on.
A lot of love goes into these slices. Man, we've been saying that all day, but most of these spots anyway.
It reminds me of like an old school slice growing up, but elevated. You have that more of the sourdough flavor.
What do you think of Sunnyside in general as a food spot?
I think Sunnyside's a pretty underrated food neighborhood. There's like quite a amount of diversity here. I mean, this is one of my favorite pizzerias in the whole city. There's a really cool Bolivian restaurant nearby. There's a Lebanese restaurant. There's Turkish. There's Romanian, Paraguayan restaurant over here. You have a lot around here.
That's a great thing about coming to Queens on a food tour. Yeah, you can find like amazing pizza, which it doesn't get enough credit for, but then Latin America and Asia got you covered on all fronts.
Eastern European, you name it.
Like I'm not a vegan, but I come here just for that slice.
Yeah. You want to say anything on our video? You want to say hi?
Actually, I was in the bar stool once. This guy is like the quintessential pizza master maker, working his butt off. He's making dough every freaking night of the week. But it's legit. It's one of the best pizza places in Sunnyside, and honestly, in Queens, 100%. I mean, like it rivals the Brooklyn slices. Sunnyside's the best.
New York has many iconic places to eat, but are they actually worth it? Today we'll take you to some Big Apple classics and see whether or not they live up to the hype and if you should skip them or not. Here we go. I got Mike here, born and raised New Yorker, and we're starting this journey at Russ and Daughters, and this is pretty much as famous as it gets for a New York bagel and New York appetizing store.
Yeah, this may be the oldest bagel shop in New York, 109 years, classic New York.
This is on a lot of tourists and locals' radar. We're gonna see if it lives up to that hype right now. Let's get in there.
go.
I think this is the first time I have not seen a line down the block here. How do you feel walking into Russ and Daughters?
You know, this is like what I grew up in. Like stores looked like this, they felt like this. You don't see much of it anymore.
No, appetizing stores are a dying thing in this city. I think this is a throwback, just seeing all the fresh fish that you can buy right here, appetizing items here. And amazingly, it's mostly young people in here. That's what impresses me the most. A lot of young people.
They know better.
They do. I get 2 classic bagel and lox. I want to do everything bagel with scallion cream cheese. Gotta get the Nova. That's it. All right, we got our prize right here. Heavy bagels. We got the classic right here, $17. This may be one of New York's most expensive bagels, okay? We got Nova salmon, we got scallion cream cheese, we got it on an everything bagel. We'll give you your half. Tell me you've actually never done the Nova before.
No, never the Nova. So.
All right, well, first time for you and 50th time for me.
There you go.
Let's try this. I love the Nova salmon smoky flavor. Different than your typical belly lox, which is a lot saltier. I love coming here. I mean, I kind of knew my answer before I even took the first bite, but I want to know what you think.
I think you can get a lot better bagel in New York. The bagel as itself is one area they could do a lot better. Flavors, great. Bagel.
They don't make their bagels fresh here. This is my favorite lox, not my favorite bagel spot. Now imagine you combined Absolute Bagels or Utopia Bagels with this Nova salmon. It'd be like an Avengers level bagel.
You go one place to get the bagel.
Yeah.
You go one place to get the cream cheese.
Yeah.
You go one place to get the Nova, and then you put it all together in your kitchen.
It won't come cheap. Like we saw some of their options in there. You can get caviar cream cheese. You could make the most expensive bagel in New York just going in there if you wanted. You want to get like old school Jewish stuff? This is what the Lower East Side used to be like 100 years ago. They were full of places like Russ and Daughters. And now this is one of the last ones standing. That's why I think you have to come here. I'm gonna say worth it, even though it's expensive, because this Nova salmon is fantastic and this place has a lot of history. What do you think?
I'm gonna be on the not side.
Just because you're saying without a really good bagel, this doesn't work for you.
I'm saying this is halfway there.
Okay.
So like to be an absolute come try, like halfway there doesn't get it for me.
I'm still gonna stand by my rating because coming to Russ and Daughters, you're here for the appetizing stuff, you're here for the fish, you're not here for the bagels. Bagels are just the medium, not the message, okay? The message is the fish.
Good. Great would be an amazing bagel. That would be great.
You know, I'm gonna throw you on the spot. A block away, Katz's, what do you think?
Trash.
Whoa!
That may be one of the most overrated places in all of New York City.
I actually do think that Katz's is overrated. I don't think it's trash. I don't think it's a bad pastrami sandwich. I just don't know if it's worth all the hype. Other spots debatable, but Katz's, I'm a Sarge's fan. I've always said it, Sarge is still my top pick. Mike, I think when you ask most tourists, they're gonna say Nathan's is the go-to for a hot dog. But you talk to locals and Gray's Papaya is always in the conversation.
Absolutely. For decades and decades, it's been an institution here in New York. We were talking about earlier how we used to go there, coming out of clubs at 4 o'clock in the morning. This is now the last surviving location.
Let's check this out.
Let's go.
Places like this never change. The prints, the tropical vibes.
I'm gonna buy a t-shirt today. I didn't realize they sell t-shirts. See, that's the other thing, is I was here the other day, somebody was ordering breakfast. I was like, breakfast?
You could do breakfast here,
Yeah.
It's only for a very short window.
Yeah?
One just with ketchup, one with onion, mustard, sauerkraut, 2 papaya drinks. Nicholas Gray opened Gray's Papaya in 1973. This is not the first of the tropical hot dog chains of New York. Actually, Papaya King's been around way longer.
I still like Gray's better.
Okay.
Not much different.
Honestly,
Similar
they're
shit.
so similar. Show people what you got.
So I got your basic with ketchup. I know this is gonna drive the internet crazy, but what I like.
All right, internet, if you got a problem with Mike's order, feel free to say something. Yep. I went maybe a little more classic New York. I got onion, mustard, sauerkraut. Can't go wrong with either of this. All right, let's take a bite of this. Here we go, man.
Yeah.
Man, it tastes the same always to me, like nice snap, any time of day. This is great, I don't know. I'm just such a fan of Gray's Papaya. And then topped off with a tropical drink, the papaya. This has been around for 50 years, I think for a good reason. How's yours? Oh my.
I love it. I love it.
Clearly love it, man. You're almost done.
Almost done. One more bite.
How many bites could you finish that in? 2? 3?
Probably 3.
What do you like about the hot dogs here?
It's been the same quality. Even when they had multiple locations across the city, it was always the same, regardless of which one you went in. And even now, it's still the same thing. It's a lot more expensive.
What do you think about that? Like comparing Gray's to a street hot dog, we're gonna get viewers who want to do either or.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's people that eat dollar pizza. I don't recommend it. Take yourself on the subway, right up here. Literally, the subway's right there. And come get the best hot dog in New York City.
So for you, this is the best. It's absolutely.
Oh, not even close.
I actually do have a hot dog I like better. I like Billy's hot dog stand next to Central Park. I've covered him in quite a few videos. Not a huge difference, but the experience is different. Like, come here for like the tropical, you know, kitschy vibe, local New York. Go to Billy's, you want to talk to a local who's been there forever, you want to have a little conversation. So here's a question for you. Gray's Papaya, worth it or not?
Oh, absolutely. No question. Don't come to New York and not come here.
I'm going to agree. I think hot dog is a hot dog, but going to Gray's Papaya, definitely an experience, especially for a first-time New Yorker. Great location here. He's at 72nd Street. Not expensive. Get a papaya drink. Get a t-shirt. Can you show us that t-shirt,
Oh, man, yeah. Oh, look, the best hot dog over 100 million served. I agree.
That's the kind of shirt you can see selling for 50 bucks at some thrift store, too.
We should do that. We should get some t-shirts, bring them to California, and sell them in thrift shops.
For the record, this is the first and the last Gray's Papaya in New York. They closed the one that was in the Village for a long time. And Mike, you said you used to go there late night?
I'm highly, highly upset about the fact that it is not open, because there has not been one successful business in that location since this place closed. Stand up. But I used to do that every night. That would be late night. The recession special, 2 hot dogs and a drink were under $2. Hot dogs were 50 cents. Amazing.
Could you imagine if they had alcohol in here? The place would be, line would be down the block, man. All right, Mike, we've got Juniors. They have been around since 1950. Dare I say world famous for their cheesecake. And they're still here when everything around us in downtown Brooklyn has changed.
Yeah, so before I created content, I actually did real estate. And they got offered tens of millions of dollars to sell this location. And they were like, nah, cheesecake gotta be good, right?
If you're here that long, we're gonna see if they live up to the hype. Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
3?
We taking pictures of a video?
Yeah, we were doing like a,
YouTube?
yeah.
Hey, YouTube.
This place is old school as they come. You want that retro diner vibe? Come to Juniors. I think what a lot of tourists don't realize is that Juniors has a full menu. This is like coming to an old school diner.
Diner in here. Like, do you want Hungarian beef goulash? You know, this is what I came to Brooklyn for.
I will give them credit. They have quite an extensive cheesecake menu. Diabetic-friendly cheesecake, coconut lemon layer cheesecake, raspberry swirl cheesecake.
I'm gonna have, without a doubt, the original cheesecake.
I'm gonna do the chocolate mousse cheesecake.
That looks good.
It's a big piece of cheesecake.
Damn.
Thank you. Look at that.
Thank you.
So this is my second time ever here. I got the classic cheesecake last time. I went for the chocolate mousse. I'm gonna get a little bit of cheesecake, a little bit of chocolate in one bite. That's not bad, I'll be honest. It's not like I take a bite and I'm blown away by this cheesecake, but there are some things I like about it. Spongy bottom, soft. It's a cheesecake. I mean, that's what I would say, but I'm not overly impressed by it, to be honest. I want to see your opinion of the original. Let's see.
Yeah. It's all right. I mean, it's not where I would come for cheesecake, personally.
Yeah. What a New York cheesecake is it has to have Philadelphia cream cheese. Yeah. That is the difference maker. So maybe it's something that you can't find in other cities. So you could come for that novelty, perhaps. You can get this in Costco in Idaho. They sell Junior's cheesecake, or you could use Gold Belly. I think this is the world's most famous cheesecake. Is it the world's best cheesecake? No. I'll ask you. You already said it. Worth it or not?
No. Go somewhere else.
I'm gonna say not worth it. My favorite, Eileen's special cheesecake. I would send you there in a heartbeat. I do like the vibe here. I like how it looks, but as far as the cheesecake for taste and flavor, nah. I think both of us agree that you can do better.
I don't want to throw it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish mine.
I don't know that I'm gonna finish mine, but you know.
I've also heard that the red velvet is very popular here, so I think our take would be, if you did end up at Junior's in Midtown or here, go for one of the flavored ones. This is a bagel, one of New York's food icons, and today our mission is to visit the most popular bagel shops in the city to find out just why they're so good. From the classics to wild flavors, we're gonna take a bagel tour you won't soon forget. Let's go. We're starting this journey in Whitestone, Queens, where my co-host, native New Yorker Greg, you've been coming here for years. Why Utopia Bagels?
There's something special about these bagels. I think they're the best in the city. Just the technique. You're gonna see what it's all about. There's nothing like Utopia Bagels.
Well, it's definitely a lot more space than Manhattan Bagel Shop.
Look at that production area. It's crazy. A lot of people working.
My name is Jesse Spellman. I'm the co-owner at Utopia Bagels. Welcome to the shop. We go through about 70 to 100,000 bagels a week. So that comes out to about 10 to 14,000 bagels a day, all hand rolled. Utopia Bagels opened in 1981. This side of the store we took over in 2014. You know, we're always looking to do new ideas forever and new crazier options. We do a giant pizza bagel, as a lot of you may see now. So we don't teach any timers or anything like that. It's all about feel and eye. So once they get on the seed boards, then we seed the top of them. So the boards go in the oven and they get one rotation around this oven, and then we flip them off of the boards onto the slate. That's how they get the crispy bottoms. This specific oven, it's a Middleby Marshall from 1947. Definitely the only one left in the city, that as far as I know of. Fresh bagels at Utopia is our motto. You come in on any day, 4:30, 4:45, we close at 5. You're still gonna be able to get a hot bagel out the oven. What makes our bagels special is, again, the great workers we have here that is servicing the customers and also taking that extra step in terms of caring for the bagel.
The Bag of Bagels adventure is about to begin. We saw everything being made. You can imagine how hungry we are.
I'm starving right now. Excited to see what you think of it. You're a Fairlawn bagel guy.
I'm a Jersey bagel boy, so I grew up with amazing bagels in my hometown of Fairlawn, New Jersey. We're going simple to start. I got an everything with scallion cream cheese.
Got egg everything, so basically the same, but with the egg bagel, everything seasoning. Not easy to find these. My favorite bagel here to get.
And the first thing that strikes me, they're not that big. A lot of New York bagels are way puffier.
Yeah, it's a lot lighter. It's not so much of a gut bomb usually, which is nice.
All right, let's give us a go. That may be the crispiest exterior of a bagel I've ever tried in my life. And that's a major compliment.
Got a really nice chew to it, very light. Like it's really not gonna be such a gut bomb like some other bagel shops can be.
You know, crispy on the outside and then like soft and pillowy on the interior. I can't say I've ever had a bagel quite like this one, and this has got to be one of the best bagels I've ever had in my entire life.
And they really put a lot of care into it. There's so much prep that goes in the back, just the way they ferment it, proofing. It's just a lot that goes into it. It's really an art to make bagels like this.
I also don't think I've ever finished a bagel this fast. Like, I'm almost done. Bagels usually take a little bit longer for me, but this is so good. I just can't help myself. You know what I think makes them stand out is an oven from 1947. Pizza shops in New York are all about the ovens, but we don't think about bagel places enough when it comes to ovens,
We really
right?
don't, yeah, because like some pizzerias, like they'll keep the ovens forever because really they've been seasoned for a long time. And it would make sense too. I mean, bagels, pizza, they're both baked goods. Prepping with the dough is extremely important in both cases, so it makes a lot of sense. It all comes down to technique.
Attention to detail. I mean, as Jesse was going through it with us, you could see like every little step taken care of there.
What I was really impressed by, there's no timers there. It's all by feel. Like that's experience and professional right there.
And if you like what you saw here, they are available on Gold Belly. One thing that they're very proud of is how they're a mix of an old school spot opened in 1981 and new school with a lot of these, let's say, more Instagrammable bagels.
This is like the ultimate breakfast sandwich right here. You have hash browns, sausage, egg, cheese, avocado, a little bit of chipotle mayo on there too, on a Asiago bagel. Never really gotten anything here that's so involved like this. Usually I stick with the classics, so I'm excited to try it. It's really a whole breakfast in one sandwich. And I love that just the bagel itself is not so heavy, just like we've been stressing so far about it. So it really is a great balance of the filling and the bagel.
This is the worth it. We've got cream cheese, lox, tomatoes, onions, and capers on sesame bagel. You know, for a spot so well known for their bagels, their lox are actually really, really good, but not overly salty. Obviously, you have an amazing bagel to go with it. be worth it is absolutely worth it. They have these incredible bagels, and then you can order all sorts of varieties for lunch or even for dinner.
There's actually an excellent Szechuan restaurant directly across the street here called Legend and Taste. We've had a full family style meal there and still come here afterwards for dessert, because if you're in this neighborhood, you gotta go to Utopia. As long as you're here before 5 o'clock, you gotta do it. So that was dessert.
And Jesse was telling us that some old timers come with suitcases, bring their bagels to Florida to last months.
One day, a gentleman comes in, he goes, "Hey, what's going on? I'm from Dubai, just came here, want to try the bagels." And I'm like, "Did you come here just to try the bagel?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna get the bagels and fly back right now." And the guy, you know, he had nice clothes on, nice watch, decked out, and walk outside, sure enough, there's 9 family members, all from Dubai, like excited, trying the bagels. Crazy the type of people, you know, you get to come from all over.
That was the best bagel I had my entire life. I said that on camera too.
Oh,
He knows,
is, man.
he knows. Absolute Bagels, as old school as they come, just an icon here in Upper Manhattan.
Oh yeah, this is the Upper West Side staple right here. One of the best bagel shops in the city, I'll say, along with Utopia.
An important note, bring your cash only.
I love it. It's like the old school, like Chinese takeout style menu. I love it.
Usually the line here is around the block. You come around a Saturday or Sunday, be prepared to wait for an hour with a bunch of Columbia students.
Oh, they charge you 10 cents for toasting?
We're not toasting.
No, I never toast.
What do you say? I never think you have to toast a good bagel.
I never toast either. What I like is I see a lot of the everything bagel seasoning on this, really coated on the bagel. They don't look too puffy as well. They look great. About 1 everything bagel with veggie cream cheese, please. 3 Thai iced teas also, please, small. Thank you. So even while ordering the bagels, I see them hand rolling them up in the back over there. I see the big kettle to boil them too. Right in front of us. It's cool to watch.
There's not too many bagel spots where you order a Thai iced tea, and you're gonna find out why shortly. Oh, perfect for summer.
It's the spot.
All right, got our drink, got some bagels, let's rock. We got the everything with vegetable cream cheese. I'm getting kind of similar vibes actually to Utopia. Not so dense, not so big. What do you see?
Yeah, not so dense here. It's like a little thinner. Some of these bagels will be very puffy. This one looks just nice as far as size.
So how many times have you been here? This is my 2nd trip.
I think this might be my 3rd or 4th time here.
Absolutely was blown away by this, but let's see how it tastes the 2nd time around. Very chewy, very crispy on the outside. This is solid. This is as good as I remember.
Yeah.
You?
Very good. It's like a nice chew, not so dense and heavy. Nice coating with everything spice on the outside. I do like that.
Something else I like about Absolute is a location here. We're right under Morningside Heights. You don't really see tourists coming here.
Not so much. But this is a place I would really recommend for anyone in Manhattan who wants a really good bagel. It's worth taking the trip because also it's a nice neighborhood, very scenic.
Now remember I mentioned the Thai iced tea. Interesting fact, the owner is from Thailand. His name is Sam Thongkring, and in 1990, he moved from Bangkok to New York City. He actually used to work at Essa Bagel. So I think a lot of the staff here is Thai, and because of that, well, you've been to Thailand recently. How does the Thai iced tea rank for you?
I'll say this one is not too sweet. You really taste the tea. It's not as heavy on the milk, and I think it pairs really well with the more salty, savory bagel.
I mean, that's just New York City right there.
Yeah.
You have someone from Thailand who is running what was traditionally a Jewish business with bagels. I would say a lot of bagel shops right now are not owned by Jewish people, Greek people. People of all ethnicities in New York make bagels.
Yeah, it's like pizza too. Pizza from all different backgrounds, Albanian, Mexican, you name it.
We got Essa Bagel, and I think this is the most well-known bagel spot to tourists and people who aren't from New York. This is the original location, opened in 1976 here in Gramercy.
Yeah, they have multiple locations throughout the city. I used to work nearby one. Very solid bagel. Makes you think of like Joe's Pizza as far as like recognizability for a New York iconic food, like bagels or pizza.
Definitely an icon, I agree. All right, well, we're going to the original, let's see. Hey, everything scallion? Yeah, thank you. That was quick, well.
Yeah.
Ready to rock, thank you. Thank you. You too. You can see how far these bagels have traveled on this map, like where they're shipping them out, I guess, with Gold Belly. And as Greg noted, Florida has the most people. Oh my, it's like the whole state is full of orders.
All the snowbirds.
You know what I noticed immediately is just how much heavier one bagel is. Like one from Essa feels like two from Absolute or Utopia.
Yeah, a little workout.
Greg, did you know that Essa bagel in Yiddish and German means eat a bagel?
I did hear that once before, yeah.
Hence the name. Yeah, playing off the Jewish background of the New York City bagel, because that is where the bagel originated from. Jews from Poland who came to New York City at the turn of the 20th century. And you know, when I think of like the stereotypical New York bagel, I'm thinking of an Essa bagel. It's fat like this, and it has 3 pounds of cream cheese.
I love the coating of the everything bagel seasoning on the bottom. Oddly, on the top is not so much, but here it's covered, and I love that on everything bagels. Very puffy as compared to the first 2 stops, but it looks good.
All right, let's rock. Let's try this. Definitely a lot softer and doughier than the other 2 bagels we had.
No, everything bagel seasoning is a little more on the salty side here, though there is a lot of it. I do like that. I do like the chewiness and a bit doughy, but I'm really more into the lighter bagel, I would say.
Yeah, I think this is like more what you're typically gonna find in New York, this style of bagel, again, especially with this much cream cheese, if you don't say anything. But I think it's perfectly fine. This was the first bagel you ever had in the city. And for a lot of people it is. I've been to the Midtown location and the line was insane. This is the original. We came in the afternoon on a Monday, so not that many people, but you know, they get a lot of return business for a reason.
They definitely are in like Midtown area down here. They're a very solid option, I would say.
I don't know if I'm getting the same reaction to the Utopia or the Absolute bagel, which just completely stood out for me as far as just like your classic bagel. But I do think this stands by itself. I do think this is solid.
Definitely famous for a reason. I think it's quite good. I think it really depends. If you like bigger, fluffier, like a little doughier bagel, it's just probably your kind of spot. But it's quite good.
I think half of this could fill me up, like really.
It's massive.
The thing is, Absolute and Utopia really aren't in touristy areas, so you're probably more likely to come to Essa Bagel.
Yeah, those are more, I would say, destination spots. This is more like a very convenient, very solid bagel you can get in New York.
If you're visiting New York and you want one of the best local street food tours in the city, check out Greg's tour. We're gonna put the information down below. I send so many of my viewers to him and they always have an amazing time.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see you on the tour. Please come join us.
Tompkins Square Bagels, opened in 2011, named after Tompkins Square Park, just 1 block away. And I would say this is the hipster choice. This is the really popular East Village option.
Yeah, all over social media, you definitely see the rainbow bagel. They're very famous for that. And a lot of other sweet bagels and other funky combos. Probably the funkiest bagels we'll eat today.
33 different types of cream cheeses. That's where we'll start. You'll see the rest.
Oh, it's big.
Definitely feel like we're in the East Village.
Yeah.
Hi, we're looking for Frank.
Yes, we all are. My name is Frank Russo. I am the district manager for Tompkins Square Bagels. We have about 33 to 40 different spreads. We created a lot of these just from trends, comments, people wanted different things, and we came up with our own recipes. All the cream cheeses here are made in-house.
My men aren't deli guys. They're food stylists. They're sandwich artists. They just don't make it, they create it.
I'm curious, you ever have people who look at these flavors that are like, no, you can't put this kind of sweet stuff on a bagel like they're traditionalists. What do you say to them?
They don't know the kids at NYU. They're old timers. They like their old cream cheese and lox. That's it. Nothing else.
You know your audience.
Yes. Yeah. The people that come here are the ones that really love the bagels and the actual oddball stuff that we serve.
Okay.
One of our classic favorites. It's the French toast bagel with birthday cake cream cheese. Now, the birthday cake cream cheese is basically like a sweet cream with funfetti sprinkles. Plain bagel with walnut raisin cream cheese, chocolate chip cookie dough, and with a French toast bagel.
Growing up in Fairlawn, New Jersey, I think I would have been really interested in trying bagels like this as a kid. Now, he was telling us that the NYU students are in love
with these wild bagels. French toast with birthday cake cream cheese. You got the
cookie dough, chocolate chip cookie dough cream cheese.
So this is completely putting some of those flavors we had like on their sides right now. We're going from very savory to very sweet.
Go from very traditional to very non-traditional, and I'm here for it. You know, Pamey is one of the people who's more of a skeptic initially, but seeing it and smelling it, I'm actually very excited.
Let's give it a go. Desserty. That would be the first words that come to mind. Like, serve this at a party afterwards, I don't know. Even for breakfast, if you're looking for something sweeter, the birthday cake cream cheese, it's sweet, but it's not like overly sugary. It literally tastes like I'm just taking little pieces of a birthday cake. You're taking off the layer, the cream.
And this French toast bagel, I know he said it was brioche. I really taste that. I taste a bit of the cinnamon in here. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool riff on like a French toast breakfast, but in bagel form. The bagel itself is quite billowy, soft. I really like it. I think it pairs really nice with the sweet cream cheese. I'll say it's probably the first sweet bagel cream cheese combo I've ever tasted that I enjoyed.
What's wild to me is comparing this to Absolute Bagels, like almost old school as they come, and then they have these flavors here and these cream cheeses. Do you think that people's tastes are beginning to change?
I think it's in general. I think people are getting more creative with, you know, like sandwiches. You have these places that do crazy, customizable, like Akiway.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, I think now it's just kind of like very creative, even with pizza. Like a lot of foods are getting much more creative. I think because people are more adventurous, more willing to step out of their comfort zones when it comes to traditional foods.
I think Tompkins Square was the first one to do the French toast bagel, and this was before Instagram. This is before TikTok. This is before these things really blew up. Who would you tell to come here?
Someone who loves dessert. I mean, we haven't really tried the savory. We ate a lot of savory today, but if you want to try something really unique and you really like sweets, I would say come here. If you want to go to like a pastry store, you want to try a bagel, but you want to get a little sweetness to it, come here.
Plus, if you're visiting New York City, high chance you're in the East Village at some point. And maybe one person in your group likes really sweet stuff. You can still get all the classics here. They even have a Jersey bagel, Taylor ham and cheese. They have everything here.
I really like the bagel itself. This French toast bagel is really unique. I haven't heard of this before here. Really like the flavors. A little subtle cinnamon in there. Is eggy flavor. Very nice.
I had certain expectations for all the spots, especially Utopia and Absolute, but I would say this was the biggest surprise. I did not expect to like this sweet dessert type of bagel as much as I did.
Same here. I'll actually say that Tompkins, this is the first time I've ever been here, and I'm just really shocked in like a pleasant surprise kind of way. Like, I usually don't go for sweet bagels. I'm very much a traditionalist. Like, the funkiest I'll go maybe some Chipotle cream cheese on a bagel because I like that flavor, but I will rock with these sweet ones. I actually tasted a little bit of the espresso cream cheese, which is amazing. If you're a coffee lover, really like that one.
New York City, home to 1,600 pizzerias, and while everybody has their favorite, few really mention bad spots. Today we'll be visiting New York's best and worst rated pizza place to see what the extremes are really like. We are not going to name the worst rated pizza spot. We're going to try to hide its identity. This way we can be as honest as possible. Our worst rated spot has a lowly 2 stars on Yelp, with a majority of people giving it only 1 star. These reviews are pretty brutal. Brace yourselves. Truly a horrid experience. The second we walked in, the entire staff was so miserable that it took literally 20 minutes for them to even put our 2 slices in the oven to warm. This place is a tourist trap. It looks nice visually and has a bunch of nice seating options, but the pizza doesn't taste good and everything is incredibly overpriced. This is the best one. Anytime you want to pay $9 for a single slice of average pizza and watered down Coke, this is your place. Leave this place to the door so they can go home and talk about how expensive it is in New York, except that you pay here twice. Once with cold hard cash, then again with a little bit of your soul. We're going in, folks.
Can I get 1 cheese, 1 pepperoni, and 1 buffalo chicken?
I brought along some backup. We got Sifat, Action Kid, fellow YouTubers. Are you guys afraid to try the pizza?
I hope after today I will not hate pizza in New York.
I think it smells pretty bad.
Yeah, it smells pretty bad.
It smells rotten.
Oh, it's too oily and it seems very greasy. Look at this oil. It's not healthy at all.
This slice costs $5. This is one of the most expensive slices of pizza I've ever bought in New York City. After DeFara, this Midtown location may be the second most expensive.
These are $6 each, and I thought $5 a lot, but add a little bit of pepperoni, it's $1 more.
My expectations are so low.
I mean, what hit me first was the smell. I already said it smells rotten.
How does
Look
it
how
look?
oily it is. I just barely picked it up. My hands are full of oil, like on the tips.
Did the reviewers have a point? Let's take our first bite together. You ready?
All right, let me try folding it. If it will fold nicely, I'll give it that.
All right, it's holding up a little.
Toast.
Toast.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Is this even cheese?
This is the weirdest crust and cheese I think I've ever had in New York. Even, I think, worse than some of the dollar pizza spots I've been to. The cheese almost has no flavor to it. The texture of the crust is just like crunchy in a way that you wouldn't expect for New York pizza.
Kind of tastes like cereal.
You go to some mall in Middle America, some old mall food court that has a sign that says New York Pizza. This is what you get. And I think their pizza might be better.
You know how they say Domino's is pretty bad, it tastes like the cardboard box? Well, it tastes like the cardboard box plus rotten cheese. And I don't know, this pepperoni is like overcooked, it seems stale. I mean, just look at it. If I hold it like this, it's falling apart.
That's a pretty tough act to follow. You've got to be shaking in your boots right now.
Let me give a bite, small bite of this pizza.
That was a baby bite. You didn't want anything to do with this.
The only thing I like here is that white sauce. That's it. The chicken, as I said, it's not that well cooked and it's a bit dry. Crust, I mean, look at this. It's literally burned right here. It's too hard. How could people can eat this? It's not recommended at all.
My crust was undercooked, yours is burnt.
Overcooked, yeah.
Where's the consistency?
It's already burned.
Here?
There is no consistency of
There
this.
is no consistency. This is how much we actually ate. I got almost half. Sifat, 1 bite. Action Kid, 2 or 3 bites. $1.50. These little waters. Perhaps this is the biggest ripoff of them all. You think dollar pizza is better than this?
Definitely, I got a place. Love their pizza and they got the best dollar pizza in town, I tell you. Can I get 3 sliced cheese? Ooh. Very easy.
You can get a whole pie of this for $8 and 1 pepperoni at the worst rated place, $6. Let's look at the economics there. $1 and a dream. You know what, for $1, it's totally worth it.
Absolutely worth it.
You know, is it the best slice in New York? No. I paid $10 for this over the last place. I think the dollar pizza places are gonna go away. And the only way they can survive is if they're good and they're busy like this.
I would pay $100 for this over $5 for the other place. And this doesn't actually taste like the cardboard box.
I try to go to every single 99-cent spot I can. And quite literally, this right here is the absolute best one. Keep up the good work, man.
Appreciate it, man. And no shock, 4.5 on Google. That's really high for a dollar pizza spot. And it's not even the highest on the video. La Industrie Pizza, the top-ranked spot in the city, located in the hipster capital of Williamsburg, Brooklyn. 4.8 stars on Google after 1,585 reviews. That's not easy to get. New Yorkers are tough critics. Probably one of the best pizza spots that I've been to in New York. Every single slice that I got was amazing. Very fresh ingredients, nice crispy crust, and you can tell how good this place is by the huge line to order. Lives up to the hype. Really interesting crust, texture, perfectly balanced toppings. The burrata slice is a must. Super busy, but they were courteous and well organized. We'll be back.
You notice difference in the smell?
Oh yeah, it's like inviting us to come in.
Everything about this spot is more inviting than the worst reviewed one. Like everything. 1 pepperoni, 1 burrata, and 1 margarita. All right, Action Kid, how does this look compared to the last place?
I mean, this looks 1,000 times better. Look at how perfect this crust is, the cheese. You even have basil on here, which is not present on the other one at all.
They're Italian owned, so they've been described as this perfect hybrid of New York meets Italy. How's your pepperoni looking?
It's a different style of pepperoni than what you normally see on pizza. Usually it's the flat type, but this one's like the cups. But I've been seeing this pop up more and more lately.
This burrata is cheaper than the $6 pepperoni at the last spot, okay? Burrata cheese, fresh basil, some grated, I think, mozzarella on top. Their dough looks so fresh. I don't know if tasting that atrocious pizza at the first stop makes anything taste really good right now, but the industry is on point, always on point, especially with the burrata cheese.
Have no words for this pizza. I mean, it's really that good. Perfect level of cheese and tomato. Pepperoni is really, really good. Excellent.
My friend Antonio always says, looking for the little air bubbles here. You know they know what they're doing. I feel like I've been out of New York City for 5 years. After the first spot, this is my first real slice back.
I mean, where was this pizza all my life?
See all this fresh olive oil, they just drizzle here. This is what you call the New York slice, definitely. The cheese and everything, the combination of whole pizza makes you feel like you are biting it from a heaven.
It's absolutely amazing to see the top and the bottom of the New York pizza review game. It's like two different worlds, like two different cities.
I'll give this a 5 out of 5, no 4.8s here.
There's no 4.8s to 5.
New York City is full of iconic places to eat that you've seen in the movies, TV, or just on your friends' Instagram feeds. But are they all actually worth the hype? Today we'll be visiting New York's most popular tourist eateries to see if they're overrated. This is New York's oldest running deli, established in 1888. It is iconic. 2 different locations, and it also may have New York's most expensive sandwich, the pastrami on rye, 26 bucks. This is pretty much the one spot in New York City you're guaranteed to find a line, like any hour. We've got Greg with me, my food insider, native New Yorker, and Katz is one of the most iconic spots for you, right?
Oh, legendary. One of New York's ultimate institutions. One of my favorites. I love it. It's a very polarizing sandwich. So let's see.
Step all the way down, guys. Everyone gets a ticket. You will need that ticket.
Do not lose this ticket or they'll charge you, I believe, 50 bucks. Forget waiting in line for an observation deck. This is way more fun.
And more delicious. Smells better too.
Can I get 2 pastrami on rye with mustard? 2 root beers, 2 Doc Brown cream sodas. Sneak peek. The pastrami and corned beef here is cured over the course of 30 days, which is much slower than your typical deli. Looking at this sandwich, we've got pastrami that's been brined, dried, seasoned, smoked, and steamed. Then we've got that healthy coat of mustard, creating maybe the most iconic sandwich in New York City history.
I love it. I love the thick cut of pastrami. I love that black bark on the outside. It's so tender. You already get that little taste when you're waiting in line. Oh man.
Been waiting all day for this. I love that smoky flavor. Pastrami is so juicy and this is amazing.
Yeah, the flavor of that meat is so succulent. It reminds me so much of it's like a barbecue brisket, just in texture, so tender, juicy, and just like you said, smoky. I love all those flavors. It's as great as it always has been for me.
You know, I've been here a bunch of times. They had no idea I was coming, by the way. I think this is actually the best I've ever had it. Now, insider tip, we left a $5 gratuity for the guy who was cutting the meat for us. I think he put a little extra effort. This is tremendous right now.
And they're really packing in the meat. Look at that meat to bread ratio. It's pretty incredible.
Oh yeah. Since 1869, Doc Brown's. Now, I've had a lot of old-time New Yorkers call me out for not ordering this enough whenever we do videos at delis. And I'm just getting into this. Cream soda here really goes well with that Katz pastrami. So if you want to do it the most traditional way possible, pastrami on rye with mustard and a Doc Brown's cream soda, as New York as it gets. And of course we got the pickles.
Yeah, can't sleep on the pickles.
I feel like the people are enjoying their food so much, you hardly hear any conversations. It is the strangest phenomena. You go to other restaurants in the city, you can barely like hear yourself think. Here, people are eating. You come here to eat, you don't come here to talk.
I just love the old school vibe of this place, the old signs. It's very much a throwback to the LES, old school New York.
I'm in YouTube.
Oh, thank you. You guys enjoy it here? Think it's worth it? Maybe, maybe. Now I gotta ask you, 26 bucks, overrated or not?
For 26 bucks, I say no, especially with inflation of the price of beef, I say no. It can feed 2 people or one very hungry person. I've done it before, maybe regretfully, but I still say it's worth the 26 bucks. Also, you're paying for the experience, for the history. That's not something you do every day.
I'm gonna have to agree. I think if you're a tourist and you're a big food person, just to come here, have the experience, to order it, to get that sample of the pastrami, once in a lifetime, gotta try it. Definitely worth it.
This is the move. You get Joe's, go across the street with your slices for the whole family.
Yep, I've done it. I like it.
And we're gonna do it.
Yep.
Joe's Pizza, founded 1975. It's a Greenwich Village institution. Most famous probably for being in Spider-Man. Tourists are absolutely obsessed with the place. There's 4 other Joe's around New York that are affiliated with this one, and then there's other Joe's that aren't affiliated with this one. It just gets confusing, but this is the OG right here.
We're not even the only vloggers here, okay?
Okay, 4 regular. To go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fresh pie, lucky us. I've always been one of those people that thought Joe's was a bit overrated. I've had some good experiences here. I filmed here one time where the cheese was literally like dripping off. It was disgusting. So it looks good today, but this is not my favorite pizza spot at all in New York. Greg is a much bigger fan than me.
Oh yeah, I think Joe's is a great example of a classic New York slice like I grew up with. I've probably been here maybe 20, 30 times, never had a bad experience, and it looks really good today. I'm excited.
Look at that undercarriage, like Antonio, my boy. Pizza Review used to go, likes to show the char.
Nice thin crust, classic.
Even cheese to sauce ratio.
I agree.
All right, let's see what's up. $4.
I think it's excellent.
You know, this is definitely better than the last time I was here. And I agree that this is your, representation of what that gas oven classic New York slice is, but I'm still not a big fan of it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the flavor of the sauce doesn't do it for me, but my experience has not changed. I'm sorry, like for $4, I'm going other places. Like I would rather send you to Patsy's in Harlem, NY Pizza Suprema, right by Penn Station. I'm calling this overrated.
All right, yeah, if you're not gonna love it today, I don't think you ever will. I still don't think it's overrated. Now, $4 is pretty steep, but I mean, everything in the city is getting more expensive. That worth it is a little more debatable, but I still think it's very good. It's one of the top classic New York slices I still say in the city.
Looks like someone didn't like this Joe slice. Someone kind of agrees with you here. Here we go. Yeah, there's nothing about it that stands out from your typical $1.50 slice now. So.
Whoa. I don't think so.
Honestly, if I close my eyes and take a bite of a $1 slice next to this, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Yeah? I'm pissing off Greg today.
You always got to troll.
I want to give Joe's credit for one thing. I lived in the Village during the height of the pandemic, and they were the only pizza place that was still open, the only slice shop. I will never forget that about them, like their commitment to the community. So for that, I think they're absolutely an institution locally. So you probably heard of all the places in this video, your Joe's, your Katz's, but if you want to go on a really cool food tour that I recommend to all my viewers, Greg takes you on a street food tour of Queens to places you've definitely never heard of and you need to hear about. You want that native New Yorker perspective. His tours are the best, link in the description. So as you can see, tourists are really into Magnolia Bakery, which opened right here 1996. And it blew up to fame because of a cameo it had in Sex and the City. They've got 8 stores in New York and 30 around the world, including Saudi Arabia. While they're most famous for their cupcakes, I wanted to show you guys the banana pudding, which I actually think is the reason you come here. Could we get 3 small classic banana puddings? So I had the good fortune of living in Greenwich Village for almost 10 years, and my wife and I definitely would stop by Magnolia Bakery just for this banana pudding. Insider tip, order your banana pudding in advance on their website. It'll just be sitting there waiting for you. You don't even have to spend any time in line. This is one of those really hyped up spots that I think lives up to it, but you've never had the banana pudding,
I never had the banana pudding. Now, my old office, they would always order the cupcakes. I got sick of them. I'm not really that into cupcakes personally, so I'm very curious about the banana pudding.
All right.
Ooh, nice banana aroma for sure.
It looks like ice cream, but it's got a much softer consistency, which you'd expect from something like this. So yeah, give it a try. Let me know what you think. What I like about it, it's not too sweet. It's like just the perfect amount of banana flavor. And you really enjoy that texture of the pudding too.
I think it's pretty good, not terrible. I'm gonna say overall overrated. Out of all 3 spots, I would say maybe this is the biggest tourist trap in the mall, but I don't think it's necessarily bad.
Okay, this is a nice thing about 2 New Yorkers disagreeing on something. I don't think this is overrated, and I think Joe's is way more overrated. Now, their cupcakes, on the other hand, I don't even think Magnolia is the best cupcake in the neighborhood. I think Molly's is better, but when I think of Magnolia, I'm always thinking about this delicious banana. New York City is home to some of the world's best pizza, but today we want to show you some viral pies that have been making waves over the internet. We'll be eating New York's craziest pizza for those that want something a little bit bolder. Hope you brought your appetites. Crave It may not just be the craziest pizza place in New York City, but possibly the world. If you can think it, if you can imagine it, they've probably created it.
Welcome to Crave It, everybody. My name is Vishy Mandahar. This is my son, Kaden Mandahar. We want to invite you guys into Crave It and show you what we do. Come check out this tasty AF grub. So we got buffalo chicken with mozzarella sticks and jalapeno ranch. We got a little General Tso's action. Then we took it back to my hometown in India, the Indian tikka masala with homemade tikka sauce, straight recipe from India. Then this is my personal favorite slice right here, the chicken cutlet with white truffle. So we make the white truffle in-house. This is our most popular pizza probably, 4-cheese macaroni and cheese. It has American cheese, cheddar cheese, jack cheese, and mozzarella cheese. Can't say no to that. So we got our famous tater tot pizza, got like 50 million views online. It has tater tots, bacon, chipotle, ranch, scallions, red onions. I stole the idea from Hooters. Sorry, but I put it on pizza and I blew it up. There you go. This is another really cool one you don't see a lot. It's pepperoni, but we don't use hot honey. We use our super duper sticky honey sriracha. It's super sticky, great flavor, great spice. You like that one, right? You do, right? You want to take a bite? Here, take a bite for them. Tell them how much you love it. Take a bite, take a bite. Yes, kid-friendly approved. There you go. That's how we do it, Crave It. Yes, this is called the Desi Boy Pizza. We marinate the chicken for 24 hours with Indian spices, including tikka powder. And we got the cilantro. Indians love cilantro and everything. Jalapenos, we love the spicy kick to it. It's like the perfect Indian getaway right there.
Mouth is absolutely watering right now. Grilled cheese, super sticky, honey sriracha. I've never seen anything like this before.
So this is our version of a grilled cheese sandwich. We top it with our famous super duper sticky honey sriracha. We give it a little ranch to even out the flavors. We got some jalapenos for the little spicy kick, black sesame seeds, and wait till you see the cheese pull. This thing pulls all the way to the moon, I promise. Watch this guy pull this cheese right now.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me here. You don't do this every day. All right. All right, we have shown you all the prep. Let's try it. Let's do it, man.
I'm so excited. Here we go.
That tikka chicken is spiced so well. That is the first thing that stands out to me. It's that topping right there with the tikka sauce. Oh, this is fantastic. He's still chewing while I'm talking.
There's like a lot of cheese to process over there. It's sweet, it's tangy, it's pretty dense. There's more cheese here than actual bread. And you gotta be a cheesy person to like this.
You're the cheesiest person to like that. What I love is that every slice here is so colorful. It's like this place was made for Instagram.
It's visually appealing and it smells good. Every single one of them smells really good.
Yeah, for example, the cilantro on top of the chicken tikka pizza, because for Indian food, cilantro is very popular on a lot of dishes. So they go all out here.
Yeah.
Crispy rotisserie pizza with pepperoni cups, homemade truffle pesto, which gives it a nice green effect, and the taste is amazing. Homemade fresh mozzarella. Then for a nice surprise, we do a nice calzone crust, and inside the calzone is homemade fresh mozzarella as well, and our ricotta.
Yeah, and you killed the shape and the image here. It's really
Just wanna
good.
go in. What do you think?
You approve?
Looks amazing.
We've got Caden here. He wants to try his dad's pizza with us. Have you ever had the Christmas one before?
Not yet, but
You excited?
I'm excited to try that.
All right, let's do it. Let's try it. Go ahead.
Really good.
I love the pesto aioli sauce. Oh, that just hits different with a pepperoni. What a combo.
Solid 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Now, you're not just saying that because it's your dad's place, right? I think he means it. He means it.
I mean it.
All right, Ben, you're fired. He's a new co-host. I like him better. And if you guys like anything you see here, goldbelly.com, you can order a select menu off Crave It, and it goes anywhere in the U.S. Vinny's Pizzeria opened since 1960 in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Sometimes you get so hungry that you just want to eat the pizza right out of the box, but what if you could eat the box too?
A lot of people order pizza and they ask for it in a box and sit down to eat and then immediately just throw away the box, and it's just a huge waste and it drives us crazy. It fills up the trash. And I kind of got to thinking, like, what if the box was edible? And so that kind of got me started in the kitchen, just trying to make a box that was edible, and this is what kind of came out of it. And it started as just a joke to just show on Instagram. It just blew up from there and people started asking for it.
Could I order a one pizza box pizza?
Absolutely. So now we bring the center pie out, and then we're just gonna slide on this baby right in the middle like that. And then we're gonna pop it back in so it all kind of cooks all together. So now the lid is gonna just slide out like this. And the bottom pizza is gonna come out like this. And then it flips over, seals the deal. Here we go.
You're gonna have to explain how to eat it at some point for us too.
That's not my problem.
That's not your problem.
Yeah. One pizza box pizza in a box.
Pizza box in a box.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. If you didn't know what was inside here, you would just assume it's a regular pizza pie, but no. This is monstrous. Look at that. Look at the lid of the pizza box pizza. If you guys didn't realize it by now, this is essentially 3 different pies in one. You have the white pie with garlic, a pepperoni, and then a Sicilian as the base. Sean was telling us that you really can't eat this all in one bite and not make a complete pig of yourself, so we're not gonna do that. He said what people like to do is they start by ripping some pieces of the white pie, the lid, and dipping it in marinara sauce. Zesty marinara sauce here, and then we have the cheese, which has really combined with the pepperoni underneath it, so it's got a lot of extra flavor. So this is just a little appetizer. This is the tough part. We got a slice of pepperoni that has cheese from the lid dripped on it and cheese from the bottom. I don't even know how I'm gonna hold this up. Something I didn't realize is the lid, AKA the white pie on top, is keeping the heat. So this is piping hot even after a few minutes. So much cheese, so much oil. This is absolutely one of the most outrageous things I've eaten in a long time. I already spilled oil on my, a lot of dry cleaning after today's video. Oh, dry cleaning bill's gonna be big. I think the bottom part's my favorite. All the cheese from the top 2 layers dripped onto the bottom, which is a Sicilian, just gave me this like strong cheesy bite. Wow. All 3 pies in one. Like a big cheesy sandwich here. If this pizza wasn't so good, this wouldn't be as fun. Oh, special delivery.
As if you hadn't had enough.
We haven't had
on pizza.
Thank you so much. They brought us the pizza on pizza. The only thing that would make this even better would be if there was small pizzas on top of these small pizzas. Just complete overload here. So you could take a bite like this, or you could just separately do that. This could be a thing. Mini pizza slices.
Oh my goodness, this is thick. Do I just take a bite out of it like this?
Why not?
Here we go. Wow. You know, this is really comforting. I love the garlic. We never got to the garlic part in the front, but like from the back here, this is where the garlic's hanging out.
Dude, you're just getting savage right now. I like it.
So if you have the munchies for whatever reason, this is a pizza joint to hit.
In the world of outrageous pizza, sometimes two is better than one, and East Village Pizza knows that better than anyone.
All right, East Village Pizza has been around since 1997. All right, and this double stack pizza that I'm making right now, actually, I make this on a live stream that I was doing on Instagram, and double stack pizza, and after that, like, it came really famous. Buffalo chicken. This pizza has two things. One is double stack, but the other thing is cheesy. That's the most beautiful part of, or most like people like about it, it's cheese. Like there's not too much cheese. It just, there's not too much cheese. It just, personally I like cheese. I know that's too much.
No such thing as too much cheese.
That's right. I just tested you. Now I want to do a pepperoni. That's my baby.
You have almost 2 million followers on Instagram. You have one of the biggest accounts in New York City for pizza.
I'm the first guy who made live stream on Instagram making and baking pizza. I'm the first guy who did the cheese pool. And people and friends of mine, that they were laughing at me like, what are you doing, posting pizza picture on Instagram? I'm glad I did.
Woo. Epic cheese pull. Look at this. It's like a pound. I don't think I've ever been to a slice shop that had heated outdoor seating. So imagine you want to go on a crazy date in the winter, order a double stack pizza and sit outside under the heater. And he said there used to be 2-hour waits for this. Well, it certainly talks the talk with the amount of cheese. I smelled that cheese the second it came out of the oven. You definitely can't hold this like an ordinary pizza. You need 2 hands for this. Okay, I managed to get it all. Oh, I don't know if I've ever gotten more of a flavor explosion from a slice of pizza in my entire life. That buffalo chicken hit me right away, topped with a pepperoni and 5 pounds of cheese, just smacks you in the face. I don't know how he managed to put this together where it holds up so well, but if you want something that is distinctly a New York thing, I don't know if you're gonna find this anywhere else.
Start from the bottom. Start from the bottom.
One-handed, I like it.
It's like I'm at a Super Bowl party. I'm drunk. I'm shoving pizza and mozzarella sticks, chicken wings simultaneously, all at once. That's what this is.
More so than the pizza, although the pizza's fantastic, I love the owner's story, how he worked his way up from a delivery guy to running his own pizza shop to going viral on Instagram. Just trying this pizza, I know that the other slices are going to be very good as well, but I also think that he personifies that New York City immigrant hustle, telling us how he used to sleep 4 to 5 hours a night for 5 years till he got himself established, and here he is running a super popular pizza spot. So that is, to me, more inspiring than the pizza. But the pizza, whew, this is fantastic. Oh, I'm probably not going to eat pizza for another month after this, but someone's got to do the market research for you guys. Tough job, but happy I signed up.
New York's most popular street food is the Halal Cart, and today we're going to be visiting the city's best reviewed halal trucks, all in Midtown Manhattan, to see if they're worth it. Now you might be wondering, what is halal? It's an Arabic word meaning permissible, and it means it's meat prepared by Islamic law. Now typically New York halal consists of some combination of rice, greens, and halal meat, either in a foil dish or in a sandwich. First stop, Royal Grill Halal Food, 4.5 stars on Yelp. If I could fly this man to California to live with me and cook me food for the rest of my life, I would. I was in New York for about a week, came here twice, once in the pouring rain and once in the freezing cold. Great food, nice people, underrated, huge portions. Chicken tikka is my go-to. I'll come here whenever I'm in New York. Way better than the overpriced Halal Guys chain food truck that charges $14 for a dry gyro. Wow, we've got some shots fired already on this video. I didn't say it, he said it. Let's check this out. Got my food expert Greg with me, and one of the amazing things about the New York halal scene is it's not all the same. They all have their own personalities, right?
Absolutely. Royal Grill's pretty famous. They won a Vendy Award, which nominates the best street food vendors in the city, and they're known for their chicken tikka. This is a really interesting, delicious dish. Yeah, one chicken tikka.
I don't want to eat this. This looks too pretty to eat. This is like a work of art. All those colors. So what do we got? Break this down for us.
Pretty much everything but the kitchen sink here. We have the chicken tikka, which is a very deep red color. You have the white sauce, which is like the yogurt mayo sauce. A little bit of the hot sauce, the green sauce, which is like a mint chutney, and also this mango pickle, which is a really kind of a secret thing you have to ask him for here. Now the owner is from Bangladesh, so it has that kind of Bangladeshi flavor in this plate.
All right, let's try it. This tastes like something I would order at a nice Bengali restaurant, not on the side of the street here in New York City. Wow, that first bite, that's a lot of flavor. That's a lot of spices.
Yeah, very punchy spice, and we haven't gotten to the rice yet. The rice here is also very special. It's spicy, creamy, you get that mango pickle, that minty flavor, the biryani flavor. It's got it all, this plate.
Dude, I have to say it, this might be the best rice I've ever had at a halal truck before.
It's up there for me, for sure.
Would you say the halal cart in New York is like the taco stand in LA?
I would say yes. I mean, halal carts have really taken over New York, I say in the last 20 to 30 years. It's overtaken the hot dog cart. I would even say it's overtaken pizza as the #1 street food. You know, I want to say pizza is a street food, but I say it's definitely by far #1 street food in New York City.
I just have one problem with this. This is our first stop, and I want to finish it right now. That's the only problem I have with this. This is unreal. This is absolutely tremendous. I'm shocked there wasn't a longer line for this. Quick Meal NYC, 4.5 on Google reviews. New York's exquisite streetcar experience, created by Bengali chef Mohammed Rahman, former Russian tea house chef. The spices are delicate, food is the best. Take your tasty meal for a sunny afternoon at Bryant Park. Once in a lifetime experience. As a native New Yorker, halal carts have become a staple of my diet. I visited halal carts that are terrible, meh, okay, and unforgettable. Quick Meal, unforgettable. Best halal food I've ever had in a while. Whenever I'm in the city, I always come for Quick Meal. Perfect for vegetarians too, and plenty of fish options to choose from. My vegetarian viewers, I'm looking out for you guys too.
So Quick Meal is a little bit more of a higher end halal cart. The price is maybe $1 or $2 more, but it's for good reason. The quality of the ingredients here. So we're gonna order the lamb over rice here. They actually use marinated pieces of lamb, not the minced mystery meat stuff. Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Hello.
Compared to Royal, Quick Meal is a lot simpler, and look, most of the sauce is actually on the side. So if you're someone that doesn't like a ton of sauce, I think this could appeal to you. All right, let's do it. This is high quality lamb, I can tell.
Absolutely. It doesn't have really bold, punchy flavors,
No.
but I don't think it's meant to. This one's meant to, I think, more showcase the quality of the ingredients.
You know, I would love this like a gyro or a sandwich too.
Yeah, the white sauce, it's not even your classic white sauce. This is definitely more yogurt. It's more like a tzatziki, like a Greek yogurt. It's thicker, has more of a yogurt. I don't taste any mayo in there.
Yeah, it's not like a really strong flavor.
Yeah, it's very different than your typical halal cart.
This is for like the true meat eater, someone that just wants that lamb. You're gonna get your money's worth with this.
But I'll tell you what, they actually have salmon here, and it's shockingly very, very good.
Probably not something you would normally think of ordering in New York City.
Not typically, no, especially from a cart, but it's very good. The quality here is next level.
What's amazing about today's video is that everything here is right on Avenue of the Americas, 6th Ave in Midtown. So if you're a tourist watching, this is so easy to complete by yourself. But if you want to go more off the beaten path, this guy offers New York's best food tour.
I do in the most delicious neighborhood in New York City in Queens, a food tour. And my favorite halal cart in all of New York City is on that tour. So if you want to taste my favorite overall halal cart, and I've eaten at a lot of them, you can come and take my tour. We'll put the link in the description. We're about to go try the famous halal guys, and when a cart is as famous as halal guys, you have a lot of imitators, like this one, the original guys. Don't go here. If you want to try the halal guys, don't go here. It's very confusing because they even use the same color scheme.
You can see we found the original halal guys by the line. The halal guys, 4.4 on Google. Best food in Manhattan at a great price. You may need to line up and wait to order because all the locals do the same, and they know better than anyone. Oh my God, this was excellent. We got the beef gyro and the combination platter. Loved every bite. The white sauce was special. Guys were great at the cart. Loved it. All right, it's got the hype. We've got the OG of the halal scene in New York City. Halal Guys opened in 1990, and they were actually a hot dog cart originally by 3 Egyptian immigrants. Today, they've got 6 locations in New York City, 94 locations worldwide, with up to 400 more coming. They may be coming to a mall near you. We've actually returned to 6.5 Ave. If you saw my 10 Curious NYC Secrets video, this may look familiar, and it's a cool spot if you want a little hideaway to eat your halal guys. So this is something I don't really like about halal guys is they give you sauce packets. I would much rather they do it themselves because it's part of the experience.
Yeah, I mean, they're very corporate now at this point. They have all the branding on it. Just from the look at this, I say it really does need the sauce. The meat at first glance looks very dry.
I'll be honest, guys, it's my first time ever eating halal guys. I've been waiting years and years to try it. Here we are. All right, let's do it.
There's no flavor in that chicken at all.
You know, I don't dislike the beef with the sauce, with the white sauce and the red sauce. It's not bad. I'm gonna try the chicken. I think you're gonna like the beef a little bit more.
Yeah, the beef is definitely better than the chicken on its own, but not very good either.
Chicken's not really good. You know, I was thinking of an analogy for this. I'm not the biggest fan of Joe's Pizza, for the record, but a lot of people want to go there just to say they've eaten there. I would say going to Halal Guys, if it's on your New York City checklist, go for it.
Yeah.
But it tastes pretty mediocre to me. Like, it's not the worst I've ever had. I just don't think it's worth waiting in a super long line for.
No, this is a worldwide chain now. Even with the sauces, it's still not good. It's very bland to me. I don't like it. I think it's maybe one of the most overrated foods in New York City, I will say. Halal Guys. Maybe in the past it used to be better.
Yeah.
Sometimes the places expand, the quality goes down, but I don't even know. I went here 3 years ago and it tasted just like it did now. So you are gonna get consistency, but not in a good way.
Barr.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Me too.
Good one. Adele's 4.5 on Google reviews. My every week late night dinner, currently the best food in the city for me. Don't even think, just go here. It will be worth it. Normally a typical time to place order, stand in line 30 minutes, but definitely worth it. They work really fast. You know that if there's a line at 11 p.m., it's gotta be good, and the line doesn't lie. The guys working were fast and efficient. The chicken gyro was delicious. The chicken over rice, quite tasty. Same thing over the spicy rice makes it even better. This is my favorite spot, guys. I will say that up front. This has always been my favorite, and now Greg's gonna try it.
I spent at least 40 minutes in this line.
Wow.
It's insane.
It is.
107 people just waiting. It was only down to that pink truck down there.
Huh. That is crazy.
Adele's hasn't even opened yet, and she wants to go right before her flight, right?
Yeah, so we have a flight at like 8 o'clock. It's almost 6 now, and there's not a lot of stuff. We gotta get it before we left, so.
Want to do the combo platter spicy rice.
Okay, you like some veggie, some broccoli, carrot?
Yeah. Give us the works. And this is about 5 pounds worth of food. So let's start from the top. They gave us French fries. They gave us falafel. Then we've got veggies, including broccoli here. We've got a mix of chicken and lamb. And if you can get to the bottom somehow, some way, we have their famous spicy rice.
It's actually better to use a spoon, but
this is messy. This is messy food.
That is good.
You know what it is for me? I think their white sauce. It's the best white sauce I've ever had in the city. There's a reason for those long lines, folks. I'm telling you.
I can see it. It's good. It's good. I definitely think it's good.
I just feel like the flavors for Adele's are a little bit more classical New York halal, which is why I would personally put Adele's in my top 5 must-visit food destinations in New York City.
Ooh, I've got a bite of that spicy rice. It's got a lot of flavor. I think it was kind of covered up by the meat.
It's growing on him.
This is very good. I would definitely come back. Ideally not at the end of that line, though.
I say it every time, but right in front of us we have Radio City Music Hall. It's such a cool New York City moment to even be here. I think the evolution of halal carts and how popular they become in New York is really a testament to the diversity of New York, because this was a food that was aimed at Muslim taxi drivers, and now all New Yorkers eat it. Many New Yorkers will tell you this is their favorite street food.
Yeah, and really something for everybody. If you like chicken, if you like lamb, or if you're vegetarian, you can even get it with falafel, and quick meal, you can even get fish. And I do like that they all bring their own kind of spices, maybe depending on the background of the country, you know, Egyptian, Bangladesh, Pakistani, wherever. I appreciate that.
And I mean, let's think of like New York pizza. Every place has their own little take on it, just like halal. And I don't think halal gets enough love from tourists.
No.
Way more from locals. Today we're eating one of America's favorite street foods, the hot dog. We'll be visiting 3 of the best rated hot dog stands in New York City. Hope you brought your appetites. Billy's Hot Dogs. This place is really intriguing. 100 5-star reviews on Google. Best hot dog I've ever had, cooked just right. All the reviews are totally true. Good hot dogs, but especially such a friendly owner. This spot has no social media, no phone number, just a schedule off of Google. I don't even know if this is gonna be here. Come on. All right. So simple. It's so New York. We heard you were the best hot dog cart in New York. You seem very popular around here. I'm seeing the line. I'm gonna send people to you.
My friend. I have so many customers I can't even handle it. The thing we can do is just put over here, help who wanted, no experience necessary to train at the spot.
Deal.
Okay.
We're about to eat hot dogs on a bench next to Central Park. Does it get much more New York than that? So excited.
That was my dream when I came here.
Was it?
It's one of those things as a tourist you want to do because you see it on the movies.
This looks fantastic. Look at this thing. This is the OG street food of New York City, if you think about it. Before halal, before anything else, hot dog. Ready?
All right, let's go.
Let's try it. I think of a hot dog experience in New York City. I'm thinking of this right here. Like nice snap to the dog when you take that bite. Onion sauce adds another layer to the flavor. I think this is what you go for. This is what all the reviews said to get, is the onion sauce. What about you? How you feeling?
Simple but perfect. You don't need much. You like the bone, red sausage, and the fantastic onion sauce.
I almost never see long lines at hot dog stands in New York. We even saw Billy running to a car. Somebody just pulled up, ordered a hot dog. That's how much of like a neighborhood celebrity this guy is. I saw people running over real quick. Everyone has a chat with the guy.
They even have like holiday cars from families probably around the area. That's so cool.
Having that neighborhood guy, be it a hot dog, be it coffee, be it anything, where like he knows what you want and he's got absolutely no attention. He could be the first ones to ever film him, as far as I know. This is a milestone moment. Our baby boy, who's not born yet, just had his first New York City hot dog. Is he kicking?
No, but he will soon. He'll be happy. Only locals know about it, I think. I think if a tourist walks by, they're gonna think it's just one more vendor.
Thank you. That was honestly one of the best hot dogs I've had in my entire life. It was so good. Thank you. Keep up the good work. I did not know this was a thing in New York. I had no clue that you could charge your Tesla here. Learn something new every day. Santa Salsa. We're gonna get some Venezuelan street hot dogs, or we'll call them hipster hot dogs. This is the hipster capital of Brooklyn, Bushwick. Also the street art capital, vintage stores, a lot of good food, a lot of good bars. Yummy Venezuelan hot dogs, hip atmosphere, friendly staff. I love Santa Salsa almost as much as myself. Okay, let's see.
So Santa Salsa started as a push cart in Rockaway Beach. Here is to enjoy the artwork on the walls with the food, the music. You can find almost in every corner hot dog carts where they have this super crazy version of hot dogs and burgers and sandwiches. Bacon, onions, cabbage and carrots, crushed potato chips, ketchup, mustard, so special sauce, the Santa salsa, and the guasacaca.
This looks like a hot dog that's about to go to some kind of award show that we're presenting it for the judges.
This is the Pero con Todo, $5. This won Best Hot Dog in New York City by the Village Voice. And it has like every ingredient you could possibly imagine on this, like an American hot dog on steroids. This is a kosher beef frank. Onions, cabbage, chips, cheese, ketchup, mustard, Santa salsa. I don't even know where to begin with this. Salivating, like this looks fantastic. I'm gonna take a big bite. It's really hard to describe how many flavors I just experienced in one bite, but I'd say a lot of them. And something I love about Latin hot dogs are the chips. Potato chips cut up inside of them. It takes me back to my time in Puerto Rico. I mean, he said they stay true to the roots of Venezuela and these hot dogs. This is just taking something simple, bringing it to South America, and going absolutely wild with it. And I'm just such a huge fan of it.
This is so interesting. You always ask us about vegan food. You have great options here. Just look at this one. It looks delicious. There's a sweet plantain inside with beans and guasacaca, Venezuelan green sauce. It looks delicious, guys. Oh my god, this is so good.
These held up fantastic. Like, I thought this would be a complete mess, but somehow the way they're created, they actually hold up.
As a Latin, sweet plantain in a hot dog is a great idea for a vegan hot dog. This is delicious.
Coming from a culture that doesn't have like non-vegan options probably at all, you know, so.
And you have a lot of vegans in Bushwick too, right? That's like smart move.
The whole menu is like almost 50-50. Vegan people coming here and feel like absolutely comfortable, you know, not just like, oh, we have 1-2 items for you, you know, it's like, oh no, like the menu is created for both.
My goodness, this is so gorgeous. And, whew, do I just,
It's so savory, it almost tastes like a high quality taco. It's almost illegal that it should be a hot dog. It's like, this is more than just a hot dog. This is good. This is really good.
What's something unique? I don't know if it gets much more unique for a hot dog in New York City than this.
I love meat, guys. I love my meat. I love my beef. I love my turkey. I love my pork. I love this one so much.
And she's pregnant, she knows all about cravings, so trust her opinion.
So Ben, you just bought a $15 used suitcase from the thrift store next door.
Samsonite. I was gonna go to Chinatown to grab one of these, but 15 is better than 50.
Dog Day Afternoon, named after an Al Pacino bank heist movie, which was actually shot right on this block. Chicago-style hot dogs in New York City. Hands down the best Chicago dogs in NYC. Ashamed to say I'd never tried a Chicago hot dog until I came here, and they gave me the best possible first-time experience. All right, I'm pumped. 4.9, let's go. All right, loving the vintage vibes in here. This feels like I'm going somewhere after school if I was from Chicago.
I have high hopes. Low expectations, high hopes.
But I was selling pop-up hot dogs all around Brooklyn and New York, like with a hot dog hawker, and just like make hot dogs for like people in like bars, like late at night and everything like that. But this was always just a dream of mine to have a brick and mortar, have like a place that reminded me of when I was a kid. Like, you know, video games, eventually comics, records, and all that stuff. Just by chance, we happened upon this spot, and it's a dream come true. I love hot dogs. Anywhere I go, I'll always eat a hot dog. I even eat a water dog, you know, in the Penn Station. Everything is just has to be right. Like, we have like fresh pickles, neon relish, and that's very specific for the Chicago dog. And all the hot dogs are steamed instead of grilled, so that way they don't lose any of the juice, they don't dry out, they don't get too salty, and they plump when you cook them. And then it goes the neon relish. And pretty much what happens after that is you put the tomatoes in there too. Then you have a fresh pickle, dill pickle. We use a little bit of a half sours, so that has a little bit more freshness to it, a little bit more crunch. Just add some sport peppers right on time for the spice, and some celery salt.
How spicy are those peppers?
They're not too spicy at all. They're gonna be like, the best way to describe them are like small pickled jalapenos. And this is a Chicago dog. I think a good rule of thumb is you should always watch your hot dog being made, and you should eat it by yourself as quickly as possible.
Good old Vienna beef from Chicago. I actually liked how he said that they make the poppy seed buns here. Like they don't even want to ship them in from Chicago. Got that big snap and they keep the flavor inside, and I definitely noticed that. Of all the hot dogs we had today, I have to say that this actual hot dog had the most flavor to it.
In Chicago, you don't have hot dog like carts and stuff like that you go to.
Yeah.
There's places. They're like this. They're counter service places, and there's a lot of them and a lot of really famous ones.
It's not really a street food in Chicago like it is in New York.
It's not a street food. No. Imagine trying to eat this on the street.
That's a good point. This is tough enough to eat just sitting like this. We are transporting you back to the Midwest. Here you go.
No, thank you. I'm looking forward to this. Eating something like this, it's like a special occasion thing. It doesn't have to be, but there's just so much stuff going on, and the celery salt for me is what does it. I don't know if you've tasted the celery salt when you're eating it.
Yeah.
I think my baby's happy right now.
You're not her baby anymore, John.
I know, I lost that right. We had a hot dog cart on the side of Central Park. Then we had a Venezuelan hot dog spot in a bar that stays open till 4 a.m. And then we have this spot, which I think kids would love. If you didn't find something that you could eat in this video, I'd be surprised. Today we're going on the ultimate New York pizza crawl. We'll be visiting 5 South Brooklyn slice shops, all with their own unique charms. We're gonna be led by a born and bred Brooklynite who eats pizza for a living. Hope you brought your appetites. All right, Antonio, doesn't get much better than Luigi's.
It does not. This is the place you would see in a dictionary. If you were to look up Brooklyn pizzeria, it would look just like this.
I love making pizza. I never had to work a day in my life because this is the easiest thing I could do. And I think pizza is Brooklyn. Italian tomatoes, rich Italian tomatoes. I love using my grande. I float it on. Makes for a beautiful, incredible pie. Some olive oil, the magic of pizza, good olive oil. 50 years of doing this, there isn't a pie that comes out of this oven that I don't look at and say, wow, I want a slice of that pie.
Look at this reward we've got. Look at this. You know, the last time I was here, I kid you not, a guy walked in and he said, I'm bringing this box to Buffalo, New York, which is like 8 hours away from my daughter.
Yeah, Luigi's, as of late, has become internationally known. This pizza is made the old school way with love. They don't cut corners here. The owner is there all the time, and that's special. That counts for something, guys.
Gio is saying how he inspects like every single pie that goes in that oven. He is a man who is serious. And look, I know in your review video you said it, almost no flop here. It's just a sturdy slice.
And you know what I look for in a pizza is a nice balanced crust. You want it crunchy, but you don't want it like a breadstick.
Let's take a bite. Oh my. I just love the flavor of this pizza, man. The cheese, the tomatoes, everything is fresh, really thin as well. This is not your standard plain slice in New York. It's unique.
Absolutely. Thinner than the typical New York slice. It's really thin. It's a lot thinner than Joe's in my opinion. Unlike other places, everybody raves about New Haven pizza. Folks, New York is where it's at.
You're not gonna find tourists here. The people that are walking in here, a lot of them live in the neighborhood. These are local places. That's what I love best about doing a South Brooklyn tour. This is the heart of Bensonhurst, right?
Where I grew up, man, it was just, everything is a stone's throw away. We didn't have Amazon back then, we didn't need it. You wanna buy sneakers, you wanna buy clothes, whatever it was, there's a place out on a Bensonhurst street.
It's changing, huh?
We didn't have Chipotle back then.
Antonio's in the zone right here because you grew up at this spot.
I feel like I'm home. Oh, the sight of that Sicilian.
You gotta have the right knuckles to make the pizza. If you don't got the right knuckles, you can't make the pizza.
I'm just admiring this right here. Getting real.
All right, bon appetit.
Thank you so much.
Bon appetit, guys, all right?
As soon as I gained the ability to walk, I've been coming here.
I see the way you're looking at this place. I see your eyes, like the nostalgia. It's just... All right, so we're just gonna pretend it's like your 8-year-old birthday party and you're right back to where you started so many years ago.
I've had more birthday parties here than in my own place. You know, we move around a lot nowadays. People go from different apartments every few years, and so These places, it's the same four walls, and so you walk in and it's like, oh, home.
So much cheese on top, and you were saying this is like a prototypical square slice, not like L&B, which is the upside down with the tomato on top. We got the cheese just staring right at you there.
Yeah, this is the classic quintessential New York Sicilian style. Like I said, we call it the square. But this is the main draw for many people. They want all that cheese, just more pizza.
Cheers. It's so pillowy, the texture.
So light, so light.
It kind of melts in your mouth. I've never had a slice quite like this one before.
Most square pizza in New York City is very dense and spongy. It's so rare to find it like this. Light, pillowy, crispy bottom. It ends with a massive crunch.
If people don't realize it, you run a YouTube channel where pretty much all you do is review New York pizza places. Subscribe to the channel right now if you want the lowdown like all things New York pizza, trust me.
I do exclusively pizza for a living. This guy's eating me under the table today. I haven't seen a crumb on John's plate all day thus far.
Look, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it, okay? L&B Spumoni Gardens, established 1939. New York City history right here.
There's no place like L&B. You feel like you're at a block party.
Guys, look at this. It's like a movie scene here. It's a Brooklyn movie scene. Everyone's just outside enjoying themselves. And I mean, it's Brooklyn. Look, I've been here before. I had a great time.
When it comes to the Sicilian, some people prefer the corner. Some people prefer the side slice. Some people don't want any crust. They want the full bang for your buck. Sauce, cheese, spread to the edge. And that's when you get the middle slice. Corner slice, please.
Can I do a middle?
Looks good.
I was fast, like 10 seconds. Antonio, I think it's important for people to know that L&B is the godfather of the upside down slice.
They pioneered this style, and everybody loves it because you're getting a lot of sauce. There's 2 cheeses on it, more flavor for it.
I love the spongy crust and the tomato sauce, like the flavor just jumps right out at you. A little bit sweet, pretty unique for New York City.
You don't find this style of pizza too often. There's nothing like having an upside down Sicilian at the place that pioneered this style. The sauce is the standout when you come to L&B, absolutely. I've been here, John, I can't even count the times. This was my uncle's favorite spot. These places become a part of you, become part of your life in a way that you'd never imagine.
Huge groups are here, a lot of families that brought their kids. I love that about these Brooklyn pizza spots. These are like generational destinations.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's your record for L&B in one sitting?
Guys, look at me. 5 slices is nothing.
I can do 5 slices, but it's gonna knock me out for the rest of the day. That's gonna be a really long nap after. I think a mom and a grandma eating pizza in the front seat of their car. Like, doesn't get much more Brooklyn than that.
Everyone's in a rush in New York City, guys. I mean, I myself have paper plates in my glove compartment.
That's how you can tell he's serious right here. We want to show you something that you probably haven't heard of before. Lucia Pizza, Avenue X. You know, what's on Avenue X? It's got to be dirty in like the best possible way, right?
Pretty damn good food in the neighborhood of Sheepshead Bay.
Exactly. It's good. So how long have you guys been here?
4 months.
Okay.
So I've been here for 4 months, but my mother and my father had a place for like 45 years.
Okay. What was it called?
Papaglione. Stopped in 2017, and then in the pandemic, I came back, started experimenting in mom and dad's backyard, like wood-fired stuff, mostly wood-fired stuff. That's why the dough is really light and fun. It's not a super traditional New York dough.
I mean, there's hundreds of pizza places in New York City.
Right.
How do you stand out as a new place?
I think it's also about the lineage, respectfully going back to like what my mother and my father did for so many years.
Yeah.
Always room for improvement, constantly learning new tricks as we go along.
Innovation.
Was that a little ode to DeFaro with the olive oil on top?
Yeah, I mean, Dom DeMarco over at DeFaro, nobody was putting basil on pizza before him. I look for this stuff.
Just looking at this, we know this is going to be absolutely fantastic.
It takes time. Dress this pizza up, and he doesn't have to put all the grated cheese on there and that beautiful olive oil. He doesn't have to do that. In New York, you can make bad pizza and get away with it.
Hell, I'm pumped. Let's try this. I'm pumped. Crunchy from the first bite. You told me to look for that as soon as we got here. Loving the vodka flavor. It's just right.
And yes, I do look for that crispy first bite. I want that crispy first bite. And this pie delivers.
Maybe we're seeing the evolution of New York pizza right now because we have shown classic spots which are gonna be here, I hope, forever. You've got new spots like Lucia's here doing some artisanal stuff, doing it a little bit different but still staying true to the roots.
Pizza is definitely evolving, not just in New York City, but all over the world. People are taking more time to ferment their doughs. The crust looks almost wood-fired.
I have to say, like, this tastes healthy to me as well.
Good point, John. It makes it more digestible as well.
Yeah.
When you take time to ferment the dough.
I haven't been this impressed by a new spot in a really long time. You do it? You got pizza dance?
This is the pizza that makes me dance.
This sucks that this is not in Queens, because I'd be going here every day.
For a second, I thought Ben actually like, hated it.
Scared me. Got you.
You know what they say, that the skinny guys can really pack it in. You would think I'd be finishing every crumb, but I gotta watch myself.
Playing the offense, playing defense.
Defense wins championships.
Offense gets the glory. Carroll Gardens, such a beautiful neighborhood. We've got some business at Baby Luke's, which is the slice shop version of Lucali. One of the most famous pizza shops, not just in Brooklyn, not just in New York, but in the entire world.
In the world, world-class pizza, absolutely. Lucali, one of my favorite pizzas.
This looks fantastic. This looks so good.
Oh, 2 slices.
Margarita?
Yes.
Yeah.
No problem, got it.
Look at this. Fresh out of the oven.
So vastly different than the other Sicilians we had earlier, right?
That's what I love about today's video is that every spot has had a different flair to it, every single one. This would be a really good cheap date spot. They have pre-made Negronis, Mezcal Negroni.
Negroni and pizza.
Who knew?
Really am impressed with the looks of this pizza. The last time I was here, I think I got a bad slice.
Yeah.
This is looking really, really aesthetically pleasing on all levels.
This has got kind of a little hipster element to this place. I mean, they're serving cocktails. You know, we've seen Sicilian today that was really saucy, like upside down slice.
And more traditional. This is more definitely on the artisanal side. Just look at those air pockets. Look at that. Look at that aeration. It's just so light.
There's a lot of spices, herbs. I'm tasting a lot of flavor on this, like very different than the other pizza we've had today so far. The flavor profile, completely different.
I agree, and that char has a nice smoky element to it. And it goes so well with the natural sweetness of a tomato sauce. I just love that. I just love that.
I love this scene right here. Just staring at the beautiful brownstones of Carroll Gardens. This is totally a vibe.
Yeah, if I had to pick one place in the city to live in, this neighborhood makes top 3 at least. Guys, before I sit down, I just gotta go 1 notch less on the belt. We had quite a few slices of pizza today.
Or just do what I do and not have a belt, period. That helps a little bit.
Yeah, when you hang out with John and do a pizza crawl, leave your belt at home.
Foreigners visit New York City, they always ask me, what's something really American we can do? And I always say, eat breakfast at a classic diner. Today, we're gonna show you 3 of New York City's best diners and some American breakfast staples. Don't watch this video on an empty stomach. You've been warned. It's like this diner is just stuck in time and the rest of Lower Manhattan was built up all around it. It smells like American here. Growing up in Italy, did you see these types of places in movies as a kid?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Pulp Fiction.
Of course.
I mean, come on.
Pigs are filthy animals. I don't eat filthy animals. Yeah, but bacon tastes good.
There may be no better diner scene in American cinema history, you're right. Every possible thing you might be ordering, they're prepared for you.
But do the French toast, please. French toast?
I have a 2 eggs scrambled with bacon.
Oh, this is the famous maple syrup?
They got it ready for you.
It's so sticky.
You know, there's something about diner coffee, you just can't get this flavor anywhere else. I grew up in New Jersey, which has more diners than any other state in the US, about 600 of them. And I would order eggs at like 11 p.m. I was one of those people that would do breakfast for late night dinner. Even the eggs all taste the same to me. There's just this like consistently good diner taste. It tastes like New Jersey to me. This tastes like New Jersey. First time ordering French toast at a restaurant, period.
I think I tried to make them at home when I was still living in Italy, but I mean, they're not the same, of course. Let's dig them in the syrup. Oh, look at that. Mmm. That's actually good.
You weren't expecting it to be
it's
good.
It's very simple. No, I was expecting it to be heavier.
Yeah.
Very nice. It's a good breakfast.
I know they're really dying off in popularity right now, which is a shame because I think this is a real part of American history. And if you didn't know, the word diner came from dining car because diners actually used to be on wheels. That's why they have the shape that they do.
I didn't know that. I've always wondered why they're called like that.
Why are they called diners? Yeah. A diner should be your first breakfast in New York City. Even if your hotel has a free breakfast, I still say check out a diner at least one morning.
I thought having Mary Jane wouldn't be featured.
You know there was food I'm gonna throw in
All
the
right.
video.
American breakfast burrito. This is the reason why John got to drag me out this morning, because there's gonna be food.
Ben doesn't normally film before 12, it's true. Could possibly make the argument that we have the best job in the world. We're just eating diner breakfasts all day. If you can think of an easier job, tell me what it is. I don't know. Are you ready for 2 more breakfasts?
Oh my god. Maybe.
Maybe. All right, first time using Omni. It worked!
You know, I like coming to Midtown because here is where all the typical architecture of New York City is, at least for me, coming from a little town in Italy. What is new for me is these huge skyscrapers that just are so tall, and I don't know, they make me feel so tiny also.
TikTok Diner is probably the most well-known to tourists. It's like the cathedral of New York City diners. It's the largest in the city, and there's no other place quite like it. Always recommend you get a seat by the window here. It's a great people-watching location in Midtown. We're just gonna split these. I wanna do 1 order of the Reese's pancakes, 1 order of the banana bomb waffles. You can get breakfast 24 hours a day, but they got some nutty stuff like Irish Benedict, Philly cheesesteak egg witch, Nutella cookie crepes. Bring your cravings here.
Enjoy.
Thanks, we will.
Oh my god.
All right, can you get something like this in Europe, or this is beyond European standards for quantity of food?
No, no, this is like food for 4 people. Like each plate is for, it's a dessert for 4 people, each plate.
Welcome to the United States. There's traditional diner food, and then there's TikTok Diner, which is really trying to do some crazy stuff. We've got the banana bomb waffles, we've got the Reese's pancakes here, and in case you need any extra syrup, I mean, just in case, we got more.
2 of these.
2 extra. If you have little kids, they would love this.
Please, if you have little kids, don't take them here. Oh my god, it's good.
You're like, what have I done to my blood sugar?
It's very fluffy, but it has some crispy parts as well, the pancake.
This just has a lot going on. The little Reese's on top, what puts it all together for me is the little banana.
Oh, it's very good.
The great thing about 24-hour diners in the US, you can order this 3 o'clock in the morning. Whatever reason you have to be eating this, I don't know what it is, 3 o'clock in the morning, you want your waffles, you want your pancakes, you come here and get that.
Yep.
Shout out to one of my Patreon members, Michael, if he's watching. He sent me photos in Germany, how they have an American-style diner in his town, and that's like a whole attraction, like come eat like the Americans do. It had like burgers and shakes and this type of food.
Only Germans could do that.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see the comments after this.
This is perfect for tourists, I must say.
Yeah.
Like you come here, you want to celebrate. You don't want to have your usual kind of breakfast. Like this is something we would have in Italy after dinner, not for breakfast.
And plus, you could split any of these for 2 people. They won't care. No
Or
problem.
even 4 people.
Even 4 people.
This is one of those moments when you realize I live here.
You do live here. What are we watching here? This is so Queens, isn't it? Walking
yes.
down
I was
the elevator
thinking about
tracks.
the same thing.
I know you guys are curious about gas prices, so here you go. It's like we're walking through the urban desert and out of nowhere this diner just pops in. It's like a mirage. I love it. There's even a parking lot here. This is the most Jersey style diner of all the ones we've covered today. So I already feel at home. Thank you. Thank you. This menu is also enormous. You can tell it's been here a long time. Got the laminated pages, you can barely turn them. Most of the diners are owned by Greek people because if we look at the Greek immigration, particularly to Astoria, there's more Greeks here than just about anywhere else in the United States. This menu is just a signal to me of that. All these Greek foods, seafood, moussaka, all the stuff I loved when I went to Greece, all on the menu if you don't just want your typical breakfast. And Mary Jane, they even have Italian specialties here. Now granted, I think more American Italian style, but what do you think?
All American Italian, I can assure you.
Chicken parm.
The very, very famous in Italy chicken parm. Never heard of that before.
I want to do the Athenian 3-egg omelet.
Would you like with home fries or French fries?
Ooh. French fries. Wow, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, guys.
All diners have their own personalities. This one's very Greek. Athenian omelet, feta, spinach, onion. This omelet is probably making me feel better about myself than anything else we've eaten today because this is actually on the healthier side.
Let's get some meat, some aubergines, and some potatoes.
I like that reaction. That was genuine, like you were going back to Greece. You could turn this diner into not just a spot for American staples, but also for Greek food. That's why I love it here. This is why people have told me this is the best diner in New York City.
Is this common for diners to have so many different types of, not only diverse cuisines, but also from breakfast to lunch to almost dinner?
You know, where I grew up in New Jersey, it was just like this. All day, people ordering all sorts of crazy stuff. It's one of those things I'm just proud to be from New Jersey. And if you guys are interested, maybe I'll do a New Jersey diner video someday. Tell me in the comments if that's appealing to you.
It almost tastes like Jollibee.
Really?
The gravy. Yeah.
That was the most Filipino thing you possibly could have said, by the way.
If you haven't subscribed to Mary Jane's channel, what are you waiting for? You want the Italian perspective on New York City? This girl's got some really cool content. Subscribe down below, check it out. Growing up in Jersey, I took diners for granted, and now after doing this video, I think I'm gonna take Juliana to a diner for breakfast next week.
What's up, members of the barrio? It's John coming to you from Manhattan, and today we've got a special treat. I'm standing in front of Sarge's Deli, which won my Deli Challenge video from a few months back. Make sure to check that out. And today, we're gonna be sampling, or should I say, attempting to eat the biggest sandwich in New York City. The Monster. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it. I brought 2 friends along. Wish us luck. I've got my 2 favorite New York City vloggers here, Jacob Carlson, Tall from the Traveling Clat. You ready to go?
I'm a New York City vlogger now, baby. I'm ready to eat a sandwich. You ready to eat a sandwich? I'm ready to sandwich.
$44.95, menus outside.
Sarge's Deli was started in 1964, which is, if we do the math, I think 55 years ago. Back in '64, there were many more Jewish-style delis in New York. Now we're one of the last standing. We are home to New York's biggest sandwich. On the Monster, you got a half a loaf of rye, then you got corned beef, pastrami, salami, and turkey, lettuce, tomato, coleslaw, and Russian dressing. And all those ingredients, by the way, are made in-house right here at the Delicatessen.
Do I look good? Could this sandwich be my girlfriend?
Any advice on how to eat this thing?
Basically, you kind of dive in, you know?
This has been the moment your whole life has been leading up to. John, I want you to take on this sandwich with all of your might. Destroy the monster. Destroy it.
If it doesn't destroy me first, I'm afraid right now that I'm gonna drop this. There's so much meat in this. 5 layers of meat. All right, here we go.
First impressions.
A lot of rye bread, a lot of turkey, a lot of Russian dressing. I think I barely punctured the first layer, so I'm gonna need another bite or two to dig deeper, because we have, you know, turkey, roast beef, salami, the first third, and pastrami and corned beef from the bottom. So I think there's gonna be a lot of emotions, a lot of reactions through every single bite.
Ooh.
Guys, I'm doing things backwards. I'm going for the bottom because I know that the pastrami and corned beef are all here. There are no rules to this thing, and I really love the pastrami and corned beef at Sarge. Is the best in the city.
Ooh, that looked like a good bite, John. That looked like a good bite right there.
This bite right here just reminds me of why this is my favorite sandwich in New York, my favorite deli in New York. The pastrami and the corned beef, that combination with Russian dressing, it's things dreams are made of. Like, if you come to New York, gotta be on your list. Maybe not the monster, but the pastrami and corned beef, yes, for sure.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God.
That's a monster, baby. Oh my God. Oh, so good.
He wants more. He wants more, folks. Guys, I want to add some of the best crinkle cut French fries you are going to find in New York City. They make them in-house. These aren't ordered, they're made downstairs in the basement.
Using a machine that's over 100 years old.
Using a machine that's over 100 years old, what he said, yes. Delicious. So, pair your monster with the fries if you dare. Guys, you can order this anywhere in the United States.
Fun for the whole family, or fully assembled, ready to eat. So you just open up the box and you sit down, just like you were in the deli.
This is just half of the monster. And maybe you're wondering to yourself, why attempt to eat this? What's the point? And it's an experience you could have in New York. Take 3 or 4 friends, $45, about $11 a person. You could take a lot of cool pictures, try some of the best meat in the city. Why not attempt this? Just do it for fun, seriously. This was a great experience, highly recommended. Members of the barrio, that took a long time. I got a major food coma about to kick in, but that's all that's left. We each successfully ate 1/4, and that was 3 of us. So these guys are gonna take it home. Guys, final impressions. You alive? Doll?
I died from the sandwich. It was really, really good. It tasted amazing, but it's massive. I don't think there's a way that you could finish a sandwich like that as one person. So I definitely see a group of people taking this challenge on as a really fun experience.
I loved it. It was delicious. But going on what Tal said, whenever I see food that big, you have to think about the actual physical size of your stomach, and then that has to fit inside of there. Like 1/4 of a sandwich, I feel is like the size of my stomach, and I'm full.
Today, we're going to explore the Lower East Side of Manhattan and focus on an important part of its history. We'll be taking you on a Jewish food tour at some iconic locations, from Bialys to Bagels and more. Let's get ready to nosh New York City style. Members of the barrio, I am so pumped to create this video. Being Jewish myself, I really want to learn more about the Jewish history of the Lower East Side, and I've got 2 New York City experts who are going to take us through this tour. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Hey guys! Hi, thanks for joining, and thanks so much, Barr, for having us on your channel again. This first stop, Moishe's Bake Shop, which is a kosher bakery, is the oldest kosher Jewish bakery still in existence here in the Lower East Side. There used to be many more, but this is the only one left. Hudson, who's
the famous Hudson who's smelling something. There we go, there we go. Oldest kosher bakery left in the Lower East Side. Sounds like a good place to start. Let's get in there, guys.
I mean, I'm definitely going to get a loaf of rye bread, because we used to get weekly from Moishe's Bakery, which was their sister bake shop in the East Village on 2nd Avenue. Sadly, it closed, but I'm missing our rye bread because that's what we get every week. This is a little far a walk for us to get every week, so when we're here, We gotta get it. So I'm definitely gonna get the rye bread. And their hamantaschens are amazing.
I started when I was a little girl.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Now I got old here. You shouldn't work here. You get old.
The reveal.
Big reveal, the hamantaschen. I just have to say, this hamantaschen looks incredible. Growing up, I was used to eating a much smaller version of this, so this is just making me smile right now looking at it. I also got a black and white cookie in here for Adriana
Oh, you
to
gotta
go
show
later.
it.
Oh, I gotta show it, of course. Let me.
We won't eat it now because Adriana would be very mad at us if we ate her black and white cookie.
This is a really good New York City cookie here, for the record. 2, 3. I just bit right into the apricot. First bite, heaven.
Mine is still cookie. Because I didn't get to the apricot yet, but even the cookie is so fresh, so delicious. You can see that they're made with love. I mean, you can see that they're hand done. These are all pinched by hand. There's no machine making these.
This is for the holiday of Purim. It was named after Haman, who is the villain in the Torah in the Purim story.
Oh.
Remember that from Hebrew school.
I'm saying this cookie is villainous. In an extra good way. It's the rye bread. And it was freshly baked this morning. $4 for this whole entire loaf. And no preservatives, no additives. It's just super fresh, super delicious. Catch.
Oh.
All right.
Stop number 2, guys. We are in front of Kosar's. Now, many of you have heard about the bagel, the most famous Jewish food in New York City. But how many of you have heard of the bialy?
Because it was founded by Morris Kosar, who is from Białystok, Poland. And in fact, the whole word bialy is basically a shortened word from Białystok, because that's where the bialy originated. It's like a big bialy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, can you show us that?
We've never seen anything like that before. Thank
Wow. We gotta get that.
That is not a regular bialy, folks.
Yeah, and it comes with everything.
That's everything inside.
Yeah, everything inside.
All right, guys, we have got both the bialy and the bagel in front of us. This bagel, by the way, is absolutely one of the largest bagels I've ever seen. It barely has a hole in the middle, but we're still gonna call it a bagel. Carla, can you talk more about the differences outside of the obvious in the middle?
Right, besides their obvious appearance, because this bialy has that depressed center full of the onions, because we got the onion bialy. The basic big difference is the ingredients. Like I said, bialy, much simpler. Just flour, water, yeast, and salt. That's it. Very simple. And then because you're adding the onions in the center, it's onions as well. But I mean, you can forego the onions and just do garlic or something like that. But the bagel has malt and sugar. So like when you taste it, you can taste like the sweetness even in a plain bagel, but not the bialy. The bialy, to me, I would say like the dough itself is like the consistency and the taste of like pizza dough if you didn't put sauce or cheese on it. If you just ate the pizza dough, you know, crust or something like that. Here we go.
I haven't had this in a long time.
Going in.
Much thicker than a bagel. Completely tastes like pizza dough. I see that.
You can feel it, right? And then it's airy, but not like the big airiness that's in a in a bagel. And you know, it's not as high, obviously.
It's,
I mean,
it's denser.
Right, it is denser. Definitely. You know, the yeast is making it rise, but it doesn't have that extra added sugar, which I think makes the bagel rise higher as well. So because there's no sugar definitely in this one.
I gotta get to the onion part. That's what I've been eyeing.
Yes, I do too, but I'm gonna have to go for a bigger bite than this. Oh, you got to the onion.
I ripped right to it. Look at this thing, guys. I would say the onion's a nice surprise in the middle. I'm a fan of onions. If you like onions, you may like bialys more than bagels. But I will say that I grew up eating bagels all the time in New Jersey, and I'll still take a bagel over a bialy, but if you're visiting New York and you want something very unique, an old school bialy place like this, you are telling me is extremely hard to find. Stop number 3. I've actually been to this place a really long time ago. We're gonna try some kosher pickles. And this is actually something that used to be everywhere in the Lower East Side, and now these are pretty much your only options in the area.
So the people brought over what they knew how to do. They knew how to make pickles. It was an inexpensive item, and it felt like home cooking. The home food store. At that time, it was a nickel for a pickle. New pickle. See how green it is?
Right, so that's kind of like closest it can be to a cucumber.
Yes, it's only been pickled for 1 to 10 days.
Wow.
And after 2 weeks, it turns to a half sour pickle. You see how the color changes? It goes sort of yellow.
Right.
And then the other pickle, we saw the sour pickles, those are 3 months old. And those are the most garlicky and the most dill flavored.
So we're going with the classic. We've been doing classics all day. Sour pickle, super sour, right?
Full sour, this is.
Full sour.
3 weeks curing.
3 weeks for this. Okay, let's do it.
Mmm.
So much pickled juice, I would say, in it.
Definitely sour.
So juicy, so sour.
And you heard that snap too when I bit into it, right? It's super crisp, like extra fresh, good.
Really crunchy, oh yeah.
Yes.
This is actually a very popular stop on the Jewish food tours. They have some on the Lower East Side. I took one a long time ago. I have been here before. I think the owner is a character. Definitely stop by this place.
Yeah, like you said, it was 5 cents a pickle. Hey, no, Hudson loves pickles too. And now only $1 a pickle, so it's still a very affordable food.
So you said a pickle for a nickel.
A pickle for a nickel, that's it. Oh, Hudson, ready? Catch. All right.
Hudson deserves his own channel, I think.
Not too sour, Hudson, what do you think?
Hudson, what do you think?
Stamp of approval? Yeah.
As someone who's Jewish, I find the history of this neighborhood so fascinating. Many Jews who live in the United States can trace back their roots to the Lower East Side. At one point, there was 1.5 million Jews living in this neighborhood, and in fact, between 1900 and 1910, there were more Jews in the Lower East Side than anywhere else in the world. Now it's not like that anymore, but the history remains. Russ and Daughters, we have covered them before. I like them so much, so I thought this video could not be complete without a stop to a very famous spot in the Lower East Side if you're a fan of bagels with lox.
Back in the early 1900s, stores were passed down from like father to son, never to the daughters. But the interesting story is Joel Russ, who founded Russ and Daughters. He had 3 beautiful daughters who worked in the store as teenagers. And he quickly realized that his store became the most popular appetizing store in the early 1900s because people would come in to flirt with his daughters. Like the, little matchmaking going on or whatever it was. And he's like, oh, my daughters are actually big assets to my business. Let me put them on the sign, because before then it was called Joel Russ Cut Rate Appetizer.
Every time I go to Russ and Daughters, I get the same thing, the classic. It's an everything bagel with scallion cream cheese, Nova Scotia salmon. It's just the traditional best choice, trust me. I'm sure you've had this just as many times or not, if not more than I've had this.
But it doesn't matter because you don't grow tired of a Russ and Daughters smoked salmon, cream cheese, and everything bagel. I mean, who could ask for anything more?
No.
Okay, let's go for it.
Let's do it. This is what mornings need to taste like. Even though it's the afternoon, This is what a morning in New York should start with.
I agree. I have to have an extra bite. That's how good it is. Extra, extra good.
They do their salmon better than anybody.
Oh, wow.
So fresh.
It is. And I want to tell you another quick funny story. Nikki Russ Fenneman, the 4th generation co-owner, told us that her father was never so happy. She actually was a lawyer before she started working at the shop. And she said that her father was more happy when she learned how to smoke, how to slice properly their smoked salmon, like slice it so thin that you could read through it, than when she, graduated from law school and got her Barr degree. That he was more proud of her for that smoked salmon cutting. So
priorities were in the right place.
Exactly, exactly.
What's up, members of the Barrio? It's John coming to you from the Lower East Side of Manhattan in New York City, and we've done the Dollar Pizza Challenge on this channel. We've done the Bagel Challenge. Today, we're looking for New York's best deli sandwich. We're gonna go to 4 famous spots. We're gonna be trying 4 different sandwiches, starting right here at Katz's Deli. Guys, we're gonna be eating a ton of food today and ranking them all from 1 to 5. Get ready. We're starting the tour at Katz's. This is the oldest deli on our list. Open since 1888, in this location since 1917.
The most important rule of Katz, do not lose your ticket. They will charge you a lot of money if you do.
Corned beef and pastrami on rye.
Basically the most famous deli sandwich in New York. We came here first to try to beat the crowds. Right now the line is really long. Corned beef on top, pastrami on the bottom. I added some mustard to my half. Todd doesn't like mustard, so we're gonna be trying things slightly differently. Look how much meat is in this sandwich compared to the amount of rye bread. This is an insane amount of meat, guys. So I'm gonna be doing a bite or two and then giving you guys a 1 to a 5. And we're gonna see how Katz's holds up. Our first taste test of the day, guys. How do you put your mouth over this thing?
You got a big mouth. You can do it.
I've been told before I have a big mouth, that's true. Well, I love the rye bread, and I like the combination of the corned beef on top and the pastrami on the bottom, because you have the saltier, thicker meat here, and then you have the thinner, juicier pastrami on the bottom. It's a little fattier. I love adding the mustard. The mustard here is very good. This is a great sandwich. I'm gonna give it 4. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5.
This is good. This is as good as one of the better ones in LA, but I know there's better in New York.
Guys, we've still got 3 more places to go, so that's a lot more pastrami and corned beef for us to be sampling. But this place is a classic. It's been around forever. It's your prototypical New York Jewish deli. We're just getting started. I want to make a quick point as we walk to stop number 2 in the rain that the way we decided on these locations was a mix. I put a post on Reddit with my friend's account and I checked Yelp. So that's how I came up with this list of 4. I know there's tons of good delis in New York, so if you think we missed a place, tell me in the comments. I'm curious, where else in the future should I try a good deli sandwich here? We're at stop number 2 right now, Harry and Ida's, and this is the newest place on the list. It only opened in 2015. It has absolutely amazing ratings on their pastrami sandwich. This place was originally in Harlem, and this is a version in Alphabet City. This is like the anti-Katz. It's a small, little, local-looking place, and that's why I threw it onto the list, because I really wanted to mix things up for you guys. The famous pastrami sandwich here. This is so much more different than Katz. It's cheaper, it's only $19. Just pastrami. Not as big as Katz's sandwich, but it has some unique features. If you look inside, it has cucumbers, anchovy mustard, really thick brisket, which has been cured really well, as you can tell, and this long roll French bread. This is not the traditional rye that you would find at a place like Katz's. It's easier to eat, it's not as big. Good or bad, I don't know. I actually think I prefer the rye bread with pastrami. I think the pastrami here is excellent. It's juicy. I like the cucumber, but I think I'm more of a traditionalist. Because the pastrami is so good, I'm gonna give this a 4. But I think I'm just too traditional, where I want that rye bread perhaps to really like my deli sandwich.
The meat is excellent. I give the meat a 5 on its own. The bread, I can go without the bread. I think if it had the rye bread, the Russian dressing, and this meat, I think that would be a 5.
Todd, you come all the way from sunny Southern California and you bring this rain. What's up?
What the hell? Or should I not say hell?
Should we let him say hell on this video? 2 more stops to go. You think we're gonna find this best sandwich somewhere?
I'm looking forward to Sarge.
Yeah?
I think that sounds promising.
The next 2 places, very highly rated. So here we go. We're in front of Sarge's Deli on East 36th Street, and this place is your quintessential New York delicatessen. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's gonna be packed inside, super popular. Stop number 3 on our list, and Todd and I both have a really good feeling about this spot. Guys, we're off to an interesting start. The menu is humongous. Look at this. I also want to show you guys something. Look at the monster. It says it's New York's biggest sandwich. $45 for all of this stuff. I may have to eat this in a video one day. Corned beef, pastrami, coleslaw, Russian dressing, $22.
It's really good. Oh my gosh, you got me.
I got you on camera. Could you do that again? This is the Sarge's version of the pastrami and corned beef. It has a bunch of extras built into it. This thing is enormous. This is actually bigger than Katz's sandwich, which really impresses me a lot. We've got Russian dressing, coleslaw, then we have the pastrami stacked on top of the corned beef and that traditional rye bread. Just by the looks of this, we've got a real contender on our hands, but ultimately it's gonna come down to the meat, I think. The meat is gonna make the difference. Really big bite coming up. This thing's like falling apart. I might only have one good bite. I don't need more than one bite, guys. 5. I'm giving this a 5. This is the sandwich that I was dreaming about. The pastrami, absolutely incredible. Just bit right in, went all the way to the bottom. Corned beef, thick, definitely not as dry as that Katz version. Drop that. Dropping everything. Not as dry as the Katz version of the pastrami and corned beef. I'm gonna say that first. And the combination of the Russian dressing, the coleslaw, the rye bread is excellent, but I'm giving it to the meat. I think this is the best meat I've had so far, and with that combination, 5 out of 5. Hands down. This is the best one we've had so far, but we still got one more to go.
Definitely the best one today.
We've still got one left, though.
Still got one left. I don't think it's going to beat this.
The bar has been set.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident this is going to be the best of the day.
Is the game over? He thinks it's over. I think there's still a chance. So you guys better stick around. We're going to our final spot right now, and we're going to find out who's going to win this deli sandwich challenge. We're at our final stop right now, members of the barrio. This place is an absolute wild card. Fillmore Delicatessen in the Upper East Side. It's not on any of the big lists. It's not Pastrami Queen, it's not 2nd Avenue Deli, it's not Ben's, but I've got a local friend who insists that the pastrami sandwiches here are better than at Katz's, and this channel is all about giving the wild card a chance, so our final stop right here, one last pastrami sandwich. The hot pastrami on rye.
good news about Fillmore is that this is by far the cheapest pastrami sandwich we've had, just $10. The bad news, it's also the smallest pastrami sandwich we've had at only $10, probably about half the meat. So it all plays out the same. We just put some Russian dressing in here. Pastrami's sliced pretty thin, doesn't look any different or any better than any of the other two spots. This is gonna have to be some out of this world pastrami to beat Sarge's. That's not bad, actually. I'm impressed. I thought this would be much worse. Juicy. Rye bread is okay, but it doesn't have that cured taste of Sarge's and Katz's. I just don't feel like this is necessarily the specialty here, like they specialize in other types of meats. So I would say for the price, it's a good value, but compared to the heavyweights that this is up against, I'm gonna give this a 3. And crowning Sarge's as today's Deli sandwich winner, but stay tuned because that honor may change in the future.
Given the choice, I would choose Sarge's, but for a quick cheap meal in New York, yeah, you could do a lot worse for $10 here in New York.
What's up, members of the Barrio? It's John coming to you from the greatest city in the world, New York, and today we are going to be doing a comparison between two cities and one type of food that they each hold near and dear to their heart, the bagel. And we're gonna be comparing New York versus Montreal, and I'm gonna be trying each type of bagel in this video and letting you know my thoughts on which one I prefer. It's very subjective, but I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. To start this video, we are going to be trying a bagel from Murray's. I have covered these guys before. We did a whole best bagel challenge in New York. While these guys didn't win the video, I do think they're very high quality, so a good sample for the New York bagel. All right, we have got the classic plain bagel with cream cheese. I am keeping this really simple. And the one big factor that Montreal and New York have in common when it comes to the bagel is the large amount of Jewish immigration at the turn of the century. And that's why those two cities are so well known for their bagels, but they are quite different. So here is my first bite of a New York bagel today. I've had so many in my life. I'm so used to these. Soft, chewy, doughy. Now, one of the things that makes New York bagels special is usually you want to put a lot of cream cheese in it or lox, something to add a little bit of extra flavor, and that's where we're going to show you some differences when it comes to the Montreal bagel. But this is just great. I think we actually got a pretty fresh one this time around. Last time I was at Murray's, I don't think it was as fresh. This is definitely the best bagel I've had so far ever from Murray's, but they went absolutely nuts with the cream cheese, which to me is perfectly fine. And one of the big characteristics of New York bagels is that they are pretty large. I mean, look at this thing as I get it really dirty. You know, one bagel with cream cheese, some coffee, you've got a pretty solid breakfast. Sometimes I like to throw egg in if I'm feeling like eating a little bit more, but I think Murray's is always a good option, especially when you're in the Greenwich Village area. I may personally like bagels on the square a little bit more, which is also closer to my apartment, but these are great bagels. Yeah, they go a little nuts with the cream cheese, but you really can't beat the soft texture, the doughiness of it. And yeah, I really do enjoy the bagels at Murray's, but like John, I am also very curious to try them in Montreal. My favorite bagel in New York City, you're gonna have to find out. As I mentioned before, check out my bagel challenge video. So we've done your typical analysis
of a New York City bagel. Murray's fit just about every common characteristic. But now it's time to find out more about Montreal bagels. And instead of going to a place in New York to do it, we're going to Montreal. Bonjour, we are in Montreal, Quebec. Did you guys really think that I would go to a New York City Montreal bagel place? No, we are in Montreal. I have come here just for this video. Well, sort of. So we're in front of Fairmount Bagels, which is one of the most famous bagel spots in the entire country. I've been told by many locals this is the place to go to try a Montreal bagel. We're gonna see what the differences actually are. Let's get inside that line's forming. First thing I've noticed since we've walked in is the strong smell of sesame seeds. I love sesame seeds.
Next please, suivant. Same 55. Same?
So this is the second time in my life I've had a bagel in Montreal. I honestly can't remember what the first time was like. So there are a lot of differences here compared to what I'm used to in New York. The biggest one to me that I just noticed right away is the hole in the middle. Look how big this is. It's just, it feels like something different, even though I know it is still a bagel and it still has the same Jewish roots in Poland. That's the first thing. The second is it seemed like the default choice at Fairmount was sesame seed, which I love. Sesame is one of my favorites. For other people, they did have different choices, but you saw sesame in just about every single bag, so you can tell this is the fan favorite. The other thing is, this is a lot smaller than your typical New York bagel, and in my hand, it's very light, very dense. They do boil this in water that has honey in it, so we're gonna see if I notice that sweetness on the first bite. Let's go. I put some cream cheese in. In Montreal, they don't apply cream cheese for you. You have to get a little tiny tub of it. You do it yourself outside. New York, they just go crazy with it. So very different, but still a bagel. Here we go. New York versus Montreal. The taste, it just feels completely different to me. A little sweeter. I would say a little less doughy. It feels so strange to eat a bagel this dense. Like I'm expecting more of a bite. With cream cheese, I like it. I actually do appreciate the slightest little sweet flavor coming from this. But I am such a New York traditionalist when it comes to bagels. I'm still a fan of New York bagels. I would prefer a New York bagel over this. I think this is great. If you come to Montreal, come here. This is excellent. But it's just not what I'm used to. When you grow up with something and you try a different style of it, it's tough to adapt to it. I think we'll leave it at that. And now, I've got a few friends with me. Two of them who live in New York. And we're gonna get their opinions about Montreal versus New York bagels.
Yeah, so I just finished it. I couldn't wait while he was filming. He ate it. I'm gonna go New York bagel. I like this. It's like a good treat, but it kind of reminds me of like a pretzel. A little sweeter, denser pretzel.
Like, give me a second to compose myself. I'm gonna give my thoughts. I think I'm gonna echo some of their sentiments and say that I do like the New York bagel better. It's good, but to me, it's a lot smaller. It tastes more like a snack, like something I would just nibble on between a meal, while a bagel to me is like a full on breakfast, and more of a doughy taste. Yeah, I like the sweetness, but I really do like in New York that they put all that cream cheese in there. It really blends in well when you eat it. Here, it feels more like I'm just dipping something into some cream cheese and eating it as a quick bite. I like it, but I still have to say New York is number one.
I'm from California, so I don't know bagels, right? But I've been to New York quite a bit. And this really does taste like a pretzel. So, it just flies all over the place. But yeah, it's very dense, a little sweet, but much more like Auntie M's pretzels more than a bagel. I don't know. That's probably offensive to the Montreal bagel people, but yeah, it's good. But like John said, it's not a meal. Like Alan said, it's not a meal. It's a snack. Very little cream cheese. This is like a quarter of the cream cheese you get on a New York bagel. But it's cheap.
One thing to add is that these are piping hot. Even when you're holding it in your hand, I've never had a New York bagel that felt this warm as soon as they gave it to you. And they must have like 50 or 100 bagels, especially the sesame ones, all sitting in one area. So I'm just curious how they keep them all so warm when they give it to you. It's very impressive.
Montreal bagel and a New York bagel, they are so different that honestly, I just don't really think it would be fair to truly compare them if you're used to one style over the other. So you guys gotta tell me down below in the comments, it's your turn. Have you had both bagels and which one do you like more? That is what I'm really curious about. Because for me, a bagel will always be the northeastern New York style bagel. Just what I grew up with. But Fairmount was fun. I've just got too many spots in New York City that I am really, really fond of. Brooklyn, home to some of the best pizza on the planet. Today, we're taking Mary Jane, an Italian YouTuber living in New York, to try Brooklyn pizza for the first time and see her reaction. We've got 3 big-name slice joints lined up. This is going to be one tasty adventure. I can promise you that. All right, guys, for our first stop on this Brooklyn pizza tour, we are going to Luigi's, and this place has been around since 1973. It is a staple in South Slope, and I think our guest is gonna like this spot a lot. First time trying Brooklyn pizza, what are your expectations?
Maybe a little bit more Italian, because just running around Brooklyn, seeing the places from outside, the pizza places, they look more Italian inspired than the ones in Manhattan.
Heard good things about you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. She's from Italy, so she's going to be responding to it.
Oh, yes, Italiano.
Sei mai stato? Sei mai stato a visitare? Sì. Ah, bravo.
You were saying where you were from, right?
Yeah. You know, I haven't had breakfast this morning, like you told me, John.
Yeah.
So, I'm ready.
You're ready.
For loads of pizza.
Management here gave us a few samples. They're very generous, so thank you to them. And this is going to be a good experience to start this video already for Mary Jane. We've got so many different types of pizzas to sample here.
Okay, I'll go with the plain one. So hungry?
Whoa, that was a good reaction.
Oh my god. So much for Brooklyn pizza. This is something I've never tasted in Manhattan, honestly. Let me take another bite. Wow. John, thank you for having invited me to this Brooklyn pizza tour. I'm already very satisfied, I must say.
After just 2 bites.
Typical New York style pizza. So you can taste the cheese, for example, is the typical New York mozzarella, which is very different than the Italian real mozzarella. But the sauce of this pizza is amazing. The tomato sauce, it has such a great flavor. I don't know how to explain this. And also the crust is, I think, a bit different than the New York style, like the classic one that you get in Manhattan.
Yeah.
It's way thinner.
So I was reading that Luigi's was famous for this mozzarella slice. So I've had plenty of classic New York slices before. I wanted to go with something a little different. I love the mozzarella on top of this, just like big globs of it. And they were telling me about all the basil sauce on top. Look at that. Fresh mozzarella, tomato. So good.
This might be the best plain cheese New York style slice that I've ever had.
My son's 3.5 years old, and he's Luigi too.
So 3 Luigis.
Well, I'm Giovanni.
Oh, you're Giovanni.
I'm Giovanni Luigi. Yeah. I'm after my grandfather. He's after his grandfather. You know, the tradition.
Mary Jane makes friends everywhere she goes. We got free shirts.
I'm gonna wear this with pride in Manhattan.
Bye, thank you so much. Guys, I just want to say that we came into Luigi's. They had no idea who we were. I didn't tell them how many subscribers I had. They just invited us to film, let us try extra samples. That was so cool of them.
Your first experience in Brooklyn, pretty good, right?
Oh yeah, pretty impressive.
All right, so we've taken the subway to Bensonhurst. We are in front of J&V Pizzeria. This spot's been around since 1950. It was the first place to serve slices in Bensonhurst, and it's a big neighborhood spot. Truthfully, I've never even tried it, so I'm excited for this, and I'm sure Mary Jane is equally as excited.
Let's go, let's try it.
Would you like seeing the pork store across the street right there?
Barr pork store? You know where Barr is. Barr is the main city in Apulia, beautiful region in the south of Italy.
Fresh mozzarella, marinara, chopped up basil.
If you want to hear what an Italian has to say about this, this is called margherita. Margherita, sorry. Margherita. But in Italian it would be margherita. And margherita in Italy is the simplest pizza, which is just mozzarella with tomato and basil. Okay, I'm gonna try the margherita now. Oh, this
Let's fall apart, yeah.
This is definitely something that I haven't tried before. It's very different than the margherita that we have in Italy. The tomato is very fresh. I can taste the basil, which is very nice. It gives it this freshness. And also the mozzarella is, I don't know what type of mozzarella this is, but it's not the classic Italian one, nor the classic New York style cheese that they put on the plain slice. Something different.
You approve? Just a classic slice. I mean, what else can you say? Bensonhurst. Cheese is just stringy enough too. I feel like compared to Luigi's, this is more cheese, and I'm curious to see Mary Jane's response to that.
So much cheese in this slice. Oh my god. So much cheese. This is definitely very American style. I mean New York style pizza. It's very tasty, very full of flavor. It's very tasty. It's like the perfect, how would you say it? Perfect food for when you're drunk.
That's one way of putting it.
Guys, I just want to remind you that we're having a special promotion for the month of August. If you join our Patreon, I'm going to send you one of these vintage postcards handwritten from New York City on me. Details down below if you want to support what we do on this channel. Videos like this. We didn't tell any of the owners we're coming. We paid for all this stuff. Check out the link in the description. Thanks a lot, guys. You gonna have dinner tonight? This is it. I think I'm done eating for 24 hours after today.
I'm gonna bike later, so probably I'll have dinner too.
All right, Mary Jane, we've done 2 spots. We got 1 more to go. What were your final thoughts on J&V?
J&V, I would say, is the classic New York spot. It was good, and if you like the plain cheese slice with a lot of cheese and very tasty, like American way, this is the perfect spot, definitely.
For our last stop, we are at a destination in Brooklyn, L&B Spumoni Gardens. This place is absolutely packed. This is a really well-known pizza place. I mean, it doesn't need much of an introduction if you live in Brooklyn, but they have been super famous for their Sicilian pies since the 1950s. And we've got a lot to say about this spot.
Very curious, it's so packed here, so many people. It's a big place, so, and I've heard about it before. So I'm curious to see how is their upside down Sicilian slice.
All right, Mary Jane, this is by far the most unique slice that we've had in the video, maybe that you've ever seen.
I've waited so long to try this pizza, so I'm very excited.
What's the verdict?
So I love the tomato sauce on top. It's so sweet. I think they claim it to be sweet as well. It's very, very pleasant in the mouth. And then the cheese is not that aggressive because it's underneath the tomato, so I guess the first thing that you taste is actually the tomato and not the cheese. Very good. You're gonna like the dough, John, because it has a nice chew on it.
Yeah.
Look at it inside. So the dough is very chewy, it's very moist on the top, and the bottom is nice and crunchy.
Guys, you've been asking me to try this place forever. I'm finally at L&B. Finally, here we go. Oh, that's good. Oh, the tomato sauce on top. Like, I love tomato sauce. It's just the right mix of sweet and tangy, and as Mary Jane explained, when you get to that dough, it's got just the perfect amount of chewiness. I've never had an upside down slice before. I've heard of it at a few places, but this to me lives up to the hype. I mean, you can't really compare this to anything else in New York. This is very distinctive here, but wow, like I just took one bite and that had an impact. That was like the biggest impact of the week for me food-wise. I liked everywhere we filmed on this video, but I will easily say this was my favorite slice of the day. Did they have anything like this in Italy? Even close?
No, this would be too sweet of a tomato for Italy, for the Italian standard taste. You know, we have good food, but we are very, very traditional in Italy about food, and we don't like to experiment that much. So, yeah, tomato is usually not so sweet, and people would not accept a slice like this in Italy.
Look at this, look at this. So they call it Spumoni Gardens for a reason. This is actually what they sold here. Before they even sold pizza, they sold Spumoni, which is a type of Italian gelato, and I got their rainbow flavor, the most famous, chocolate, pistachio, almonds. It's gonna be good. I saw the cup, I thought it was barely gonna be anything, and they stacked this guy.
It has tiny little bites of crunchy nuts inside, which is very pleasant. I mean, the look of this pistachio is called.
You say in Italian?
Pistachio is the Italian version. It's a little bit looks like chemical. This is definitely not the natural color of pistachio.
Trying Spumoni for the first time. You know, Mary Jane was absolutely right. This is so hard to describe. It's like this big flavor fusion of everything. And the pistachio is like super, super strong. But I like it. It's got a nice little minty touch. Yeah. It's just growing on me. The more I eat this, the more flavors I mix, the happier I get. Is this the best slice in New York City? I'm John, a New York City vlogger, and I love making videos about pizza. From ranking the top dollar slice joints to having visiting Italians try it, I'm up for anything. And in this video, we're going to eat at two famous pizza rivals located under the Brooklyn Bridge, who just happen to be neighbors, and see who's better. We're going to be putting Grimaldi's and Juliana's to the test with the help of two New York City food vloggers. We're ordering one pie from each spot, and we're going to be ranking it from a 1 to a 5 to finally put this debate to rest.
Grimaldi's is one of my favorite pizzerias as a kid. It used to be in the space right down the block, which is now Juliana's. So I used to come here very often, get the pies to go, eat inside. Always loved it. Let's see how it is now under the new ownership and the new location. Pie to go.
How long did that take to get?
About, say, 7 to 8 minutes.
We've got our first pie. How much did it cost?
This one's $20 for the smaller pie.
$20 for the small margarita pie. Something to note, this is the first time I have ever seen no line in front of Juliana's or Grimaldi's. We timed this for midwinter, midweek. This was very intentional.
Absolutely. Post-holiday season.
Post-holiday season. All right, Greg, before we start, what kinds of things are we going to be looking for in this pizza taste test?
Say definitely looking for the flavor of the crust. It has the right level of char from that coal oven, because the coal oven is very key to these pies. Not many coal ovens left in New York City, so it adds a special flavor to it. I say the flavor of the sauce, if it's not too salty, not too sweet, somewhere right in the middle. And the cheese got to have a nice flavor to it, nice creamy flavor. And I see there's a decent amount of basil on here, so looks pretty good.
Greg is leading off the taste test challenge. 1 to 5, do your thing.
All right, so there we go. Now look at it. You can see that little bit of ash from the coal oven. Not heavily charred. It doesn't feel too crispy, but it looks good. It looks like a nice amount of sauce on top, which I like. I like sauce on top, so let's take a bite.
He needs another bite just in case.
Sauce is a little salty. Not as much flavor on that crust as I would like from the coal oven. I'll give it 3.5.
Is it as good as when you had it as a kid?
I would say no.
Jumi's up next.
Uh-oh. Okay.
She just went right in.
I say 1 more bite.
Everyone has needed a second bite so far. Interesting.
It has to be.
We have to be precise here. We need 2 bites.
Yeah, sauce is a little salty, but the cheese balances it, so, well, yeah. I'd say 3.5.
Husband and wife. What a surprise. Same number.
I wasn't even listening to you.
I'm not as good as Greg and Jumi at rating food, but I do know my pizza a little bit. All right. 1 to 5. Here we go, Grimaldi's. Is this the best slice in New York City? I need a second bite. It's good. I like the crust, but I feel like there's something lacking with the tomato sauce flavor. I don't know if it's too salty, as they were saying, something else. I'm gonna go with a 3.2.
3.2, okay.
3.2. We're gonna change the numbers just a little bit. A 3.2. Solid pizza. Definitely not the best in New York. Excited to try Juliana's though after this.
So do we have a food tour tonight?
Not tonight, but we do offer an awesome food tour and Airbnb experiences. We show you some of the best street food in New York City, a very local, off the beaten path experience. We'd love to have you. We hope to see you on one of our tours.
See you soon.
This is where the original Grimaldi's was. I went here so many times as a kid. I loved it. It's one of my first favorite pizzas in New York City, actually, growing up. Yeah, I'd even come with family. We'd actually call in the order 10 minutes before we got here so we could pick it up and just eat it in the car.
So there actually is a small line here at Juliana's. I don't think we're gonna be waiting too long. We gave Grimaldi's 3.5, 3.5, 3.2, about a 3.4 or so average. Hoping Juliana's can top it, but we're gonna be honest with you guys if it doesn't.
Medium margarita pie?
Smells so good. This is the hardest walk in history. I just want to rip this open and start eating them right now.
This looks very different than the Grimaldi's. You can tell right away. Look at all the oregano on there. The crust looks a little more charred. Looks, at first glance, it looks thinner. Hopefully more crisp. We will find out.
So the score to beat for Greg is 3.5. Remember, 1 to 5. We're going to be tallying up the average at the end to see who wins. Time for Juliana's.
All right. Say at first glance, it looks great. I'm a big fan of oregano too, so I see a lot of oregano here. Looks very well balanced. The crust looks very thin. I'm trying to get the best possible slice here for the first impression. Let's go with this one. See, there's a little more color on the edge of that crust, and even the bottom's got a little bit of a flop, but it already feels more crisp than Grimaldi's. Let's take a bite. Yeah. I've had Juliana several times. This is as good as I always remember it being. I'm gonna give this one a 4.6.
Ooh, high number here.
Yeah, so what's nice here is that everything is well balanced and harmonious, all the ingredients. The crust has that nice char. You can really taste the flavor from that coal oven. The oregano gives it a nice herbal kick. I'm a big fan of oregano. If you like oregano, you'll probably like this one too. The sauce is not salty like the last one, and it's not overly sauced. See, the other one's sauce was dripping. We actually got it all over us too. And the sauce here has a nice tomato flavor, no extra salt. The mozzarella is nice and creamy. Nice amount of basil here. Excellent stuff.
Okay. Okay, for me, with everything in here, basil, oregano, perfect balance to everything, 4.8.
Ooh, almost perfect.
Almost perfect. It's not too salty. Yeah.
All right, here goes. Final bite to see which one's better. Just in case, one more. Just about everything tastes better to me on this. The cheese, the tomato sauce, it's not so heavy nor as salty. Love the crust. I know the whole story behind that oven. It's actually the first time I've ever tried Juliana's, and this is definitely going towards the top of my list for best pie in New York City. I don't know if I'm putting this #1, but I'm gonna rank this 4.6. Easily the winner of today's pizza challenge. Juliana's defeats Grimaldi's. Quite a big victory for Juliana's. So obviously you know which one I would personally recommend and all of us would recommend.
Grimaldi's, Juliana's, it's a very iconic location under the Brooklyn Bridge. A lot of people come here for the pizza. There's definitely one that stood out among them all, and that is Juliana's. You know, they have the original coal oven, and it's Patsy Grimaldi. He's an icon in New York City pizza. He's worked at some of the best shops here, including he has the Patsy's in East Harlem. He had the original Grimaldi's here, and now Juliana's. You really taste the difference in that crust, that char. It's got that crisp at the edge, well-balanced flavors. It's got the oregano that makes it pop. The mozzarella is really good. The fresh mozzarella is delicious. The sauce is not salty nor too tangy. It's very well-balanced, delicious.
What is going on, members of the Barrio? It's John coming to you from New York City, and today we're going to be doing the Bagel Challenge. That's right, we're going to be exploring one of New York's cheapest food items. We're going to be going to 5 different places, and we are going to be trying one bagel with cream cheese from each of these spots and declaring one place the bagel champion. I have dreamed of making a video like this for a really long time, so let's get started. Stop number 1, Murray's Bagels in Greenwich Village. Oh, you see my stuff? Yeah. Oh, what's your name? John. Nice to meet you, man. And one plain with cream cheese, please.
And one plain with plain cream cheese.
Yeah.
Anything else?
First taste test, we're gonna rate this on a 1 to a 5, just like I did the pizza challenge. My first bite of Murray's. I like the cream cheese. I don't know if I got the freshest bagel per se. I'm gonna take one more bite. Maybe not as crunchy as I would normally like for a bagel. I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5. Very solid, but I think we could possibly do better on the rest of the tour. I would recommend you come here, but I grew up in North Jersey. I had a spot where I lived in Fairlawn, where I think the bagels are better than this. but this is very solid.
What did you think of the first stop?
I slightly disagreed with you. I think I would give them 4 stars. I thought it was good. The cream cheese, the sesame bagel I had, it really blended together well. Yeah, maybe it wasn't as hard and crunchy as some of the bagels you're used to, but for me, I thought it was really good.
We are going to stop number 2, which is in Chelsea. In fact, the first 3 places that we're going to are all going to be within walking distance. We are at stop number 2 right now, Brooklyn Bagel and Coffee. And it's a bit ironic because they actually don't have any locations in Brooklyn. They've got one in Queens, one in Manhattan. This was pretty high on a lot of lists, so let's go check it out. Humongous line here. I have to say, this may be the most cream cheese I have ever seen put into a single bagel in my life. This bagel is a bit bigger than Murray's. It cost $3.50, so it was almost the same price. And I do want to note that we chose these places based on a mixture of Yelp reviews and a couple of food blogs. But if there's any places you think we missed, definitely tell us in the comments. All right, plain bagel with cream cheese. Test number 2. Softer than Murray's. Cream cheese is better as well. A little saltier, perhaps. This is what a good New York City bagel should taste like. I'm going with 4. I like this a lot. A little heavy on the cream cheese, perhaps, but I think we got this fresh. And yeah, I would totally recommend this place. A great bagel. What did you think?
Well, I would say even though we are twins, I'm going to be slightly disagreeing with him. I think it was a good bagel, but the salty cream cheese kind of made each bite a little, I don't know, like overdone for me. And yeah, it was a softer bagel, but I actually think I preferred the crunchiness of the Murray's one.
Stop number 3 is Best Bagel and Coffee, because clearly they think they have the best bagels and coffee in New York. I guess this place was also really highly rated on a couple of websites, so we're here in Midtown about to try this spot out. $63. Thank you. Let's go. I'm really impressed with how this bagel looks. Look at this like golden brown color. This might be the best looking of all the bagels we have eaten so far. Cost about $3.60, which is about average for the prices we paid for the first 3. Here we go. This reminds me a lot of the last place, the Brooklyn Bagel spot that we were at. Very soft. I like the cream cheese better in this one. I'm still just gonna have to lean on a 4 for this. This is an excellent bagel. I have not been blown away by a bagel yet. This is soft. I really like how if you press it, for me that's a good bagel. It's just soft enough, and when you do that, you kind of see the cream cheese move. Excellent. Not perfect, but I'm giving this a 4.
All right, I actually am finally going to agree with John. This is a really good bagel. He mentioned it, the texture, the color is perfect. I really like the bottom is toasted and the top is soft, so it's a nice blend. They didn't go too crazy with the cream cheese, and the cream cheese inside tastes really good. It's not too salty. I think as of now, this is the bagel to beat.
The bar has been set literally and figuratively at stop number 3, Best Bagel and Coffee. We're taking the subway to the East Village for number 4. We made it to 2nd Avenue Station. We are about to walk up through the East Village to get to Tompkins Square Bagels, which is really well known in New York City. The East Village is definitely one of my favorite neighborhoods in the entire city. It's a really cool spot, especially for younger people if you want to have a lot of cheaper restaurants and places to go out. We're almost by Tompkins Square Park. We've made it, and this is probably the most hipster bagel spot of all the places we're going to try out. They have a lot of weird variations, including a rainbow bagel, but we're going to stick with the basics. Plain bagel, cream cheese, not toasted.
Honestly, guys, they're all starting to look the same to me. It's got the crispy brown on the outside. It's got an average amount of cream cheese. Fairly warm. Never been here before. No expectations. Here we go. This reminds me of Murray's a lot. It's crunchy. Not as soft as I like, though, as far as the texture. The cream cheese isn't bad. I would say this is very solid, but nothing special. Gonna go with a 3 here. Woo! So far, Best Bagel and Coffee is the spot to beat from Midtown. We are gonna leave Manhattan and go to Brooklyn for our final stop in Park Slope, and I think this is gonna be a real contender. We're walking the Park Slope right now, which is one of the most beautiful neighborhoods in all of New York City. There's a lot of brownstones here. We're pretty close to Prospect Park, and Brooklyn's pretty well known for their pizza and for their bagels, so of course we had to include at least one bagel spot in Brooklyn. I can't believe it, guys. After 4 hours, we made it to the final stop, Bagel Hole, because it's kind of a hole in the wall. It's a tiny place, but it has won a lot of awards, so I don't know, maybe we've saved the best for last. Okay. Can I get a plain bagel with cream cheese? This is by far the cheapest bagel we've had today, just $2.15. Plain bagel, cream cheese. We have not changed the recipe at all. It is a little bit smaller than some of the other ones. And I'm also curious, it's kind of later in the day, how fresh this is. But here we go. This is the last chance to beat Best Bagel and Coffee. Bagel Hole taste test. That is really good. I think I need another bite though. This is it. This is the winner. I'm giving this 5. This is what I've been looking for. And it's interesting because the interior of that place reminded me of my favorite bagel spot in New Jersey. A tiny little hole in the wall. Crunchy, cream cheese is good, just the perfect texture, and even though it's later in the day, it's still very fresh. Of all the places I've went to, this is the bagel I've been looking for. Bagel Hole is the Bagel Challenge winner. No question for me here. I really liked it. I totally agree with you. I thought it was like a very crispy bagel. Even later in the day, it was still really good. The cream cheese was really smooth. Hands down, that was the winner of the Bagel Challenge.